Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Night Owl, a show that we do twice a week where we talk about all the latest in pop culture news, TV and movie reviews, gaming news, and just the general conversations of the day. For those who don't know me, I'm Price of Reason, and with me, as always, is my co-host Professor R2. How's it going, Professor?
Oh, it's going well. Now that I seem to have figured out all of my audio issues and whatnot. So, well, most of them anyway. But at least I'm not popping and crackling while I'm on the stream, which is great. And I'm glad to be here tonight, Price. I think we have some, I don't know about fun things to talk about, but we have things to talk about.
We certainly do. Now I don't even remember what is it that we're talking about. Oh, okay.
I'm sure we'll get around to talking about Black Snape Moan at some point.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's so annoying. There's a part of me that I almost feel it's a type of bait that they're setting up for people to lure them in to this annoying bait. And at the same time, I can understand why this would be seen as annoying to people. Uh, I wanna make it clear. Generally speaking, it's not that like I care if there's like diverse casting and stuff, and there's a lot of I think shows, especially ones that are happening. Like if you were doing a show now about something that's happening in New York City in 2026, and it was like there was a white guy, a black guy, a Latino man, none of that would seem weird to me. You know what I mean? If you do like a cop drama show, there's people from all different backgrounds, or you do like a hospital one or whatever. It could be a sitcom, it could be funny, it could be sad, it could be drama, it could be soapy. Whatever it is that you do, it would make sense that there would be a diverse cast. But when you're going into stuff that generally didn't either require it or even the opposite was not really a thing, and you're really trying to force it in there, I think that that's where it becomes a bit complicated. And I'm not saying like I'm not the biggest Harry Potter person. I am okay. I watched, and especially this series, this first season that it's based on, that like first movie, The Philosopher's Stone. I certainly am familiar. I mean, I watched the movie. I'm familiar with it, and based on everything I know, Snape is supposed to be pale. He has to have. He has a very specific look where
yeah,
he's
so
described.
Yeah. So in the books, he's described as being pale and sallow. So sallow meaning kind of it's a yellow, sort of a sickly look. And then he's also described as having long, greasy black hair and a hooked nose. He is not specifically called out. He's also called out as having bad teeth, like yellowish teeth. But he's never specifically said he's a white man, because who does that in their book, right? Like who specifically does that? And then there's also drawings made by J.K. Rowling that she's published, saying that here's sort of what he looks like. Here's what he looks like in my mind. So did it ever specifically say he is a white man? No, it didn't say that. That's not how you write a book, right? You use prose, you use different words to kind of refer to his appearance. You don't have to sit down in a book and say, here's the genealogy of this character and where they came from. It seems rather silly.
Yeah, I can understand that. So basically, I tend to agree with you. Uh, there's a few things that they did here. Not only did they do the casting, the whatever you want to call it, a race swap or whatever it is, they also they did the whole dreadlocks and change his clothes thing, like trying to make it seem like he's completely something different. Uh, I there's something about that kind of idea that they like to do it, and it's not the first time we've seen it. Uh, I'm trying to think. I could be wrong now, but wasn't even like Moses Ingram's character in Obi-Wan Kenobi on that terrible series? If I'm not mistaken, they tried to give her a look like that too. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's a kind of a look that they're going for. Uh, I don't really know. Obviously, this the series, the books, kind of takes place in the 90s. So they are trying to go back and make it look sort of retro from the 90s. I don't know that his look really reminds me of the 90s all that much, but okay. Let me I can share it here if we want to take a look at it.
Well, we can
Um,
also look at the trailer. There's nothing
yeah,
keeping us from doing that.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the thing is that I no matter what I'm going to say now, it's probably going to come off like as douchey, even though I don't intend to be douchey, and I'm not coming from a douchey place necessarily. But sometimes you can choose an actor or an actress that maybe it's something a bit ambiguous, or it's not exactly, but like you think, oh, this is a good actor for the role. There's a few things that I have an issue with. For me, what I've seen, and I mentioned it earlier today on a stream with Erwin, who earlier gave a few gifted memberships here on his channel on Nerd Wars. When they did the show Obi-Wan Kenobi, and there was a leak where people found like the industry notices of how they wanted to send when they sent to the casting agents how they wanted to cast the show. They basically said this, the Moses Ingram character, how they described the casting for that. Do you know how they described it?
I do not.
They basically gave casting agents, according to what seems to have been leaked and it seems legit, they wrote, "We need a co-lead female for the show who's a BIPOC." Now,
There you go.
they didn't just say, "Hey, we just need another person. We need a woman in her 20s. We need a woman in her 30s." Which means in that case, anybody could apply. It could be a white woman, could be a Latina woman, could be a black woman, could be an Asian woman. They didn't say like, "We're looking for a woman. Send us what you got." They said it has to be a co-lead BIPOC woman. And it's like when you look at the show, aside from them doing their weird messaging thing and what they were trying to do, that she like came from here and the other people were bad and she was the victim and they were privileged, or whatever nonsense they were going for, there was a reason why they wanted her to be that way. Do you get what I mean?
Yes.
It wasn't in good faith. It wasn't that they said, "Hey, we auditioned a number of ladies for this. This lady was the best lady." We already know what they were looking for. It doesn't mean that, amongst BIPOC, maybe they thought Moses Ingram would be good or bad for it. Personally, if you want to know what I think, Moses Ingram, she appeared in that Queen's Gambit series. I thought she was fine there because I think that she actually comes off in a character that seems more positive. That's actually a better casting fit for her as this kind of evil, sympathetic villain. Whatever they were going for in Obi-Wan Kenobi, she was all wrong for it. Forget about all the controversy, whatever you want to call it, all the nonsense, the noise behind the scenes, Ewan whining in his car, her saying all this stuff online with her videos and her Instagram. Forget about all of that. I just don't even think she was good for the role, regardless of anything. And I also don't know, you know, I don't know why it was so important that they described her character as such, unless they were trying to peddle their usual propaganda stuff. And that takes me back to this Snape thing. That's why I mentioned it. That bringing a guy and doing that swap and having like him now dressed different and doing like the dreadlocks and all this stuff, it's like, stop with it. It reminds you of the pandering. Stop with all this weird pandering and propaganda. Now it already feels like on the show they're not just going to have him as Snape. There's going to be this kind of underlying bullshit. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Oh, absolutely. And honestly, that is the biggest reason that I have a problem with this casting. There are characters in the story where making them black, changing it to a character with darker skin or a different race would not really change much, right? There's some
Right.
character if they were to make let's say the guy that runs the wand shop, they make him black. It doesn't really change much of anything, really.
Right.
They're specifically with the character of Snape. There are some very real problems that are introduced into the story that were not there. There's some very real context that's introduced there that was not there in the original books. So, how well do you know Harry Potter, Bryce? I guess you've seen the movies, but have you read any of the books or
I'm
anything?
gonna be honest with you, bro. Now I'm talking like on Starfleet Academy. Uh,
Hasn't even seen all of the movies, yo.
um, nah, I ain't even seen all the movies, bro.
Oh, okay.
No,
All right,
I
bro. That's fine, bro.
I saw the first 3 movies.
Okay.
That's where I'm at with Harry Potter.
Okay,
That's
all
what's
right.
up, yo.
So I've read or listened to the audiobooks, some of the audiobooks with my kids. My daughter's really into it, so we've kind of been listening to those on long road trips and stuff. And I've seen all the movies, and I actually really enjoyed the films. I thought they were all pretty well done. There's some weaker ones in there, but they were all pretty well done. And obviously, they're meant to be kids' films. They're young adult, novels as they get a little darker later on. But with the character of Snape, there's a history with Harry's family, specifically with Harry's dad and his friends who called themselves the Marauders. You're introduced to those characters in the book later on, and in the films as well. James and his friends, Sirius and the others, they bullied Snape while they
Okay.
were in school together. And in one incident, they messed with him. They tripped him up, and he ended up dangling from a tree. So we now have characters that before, frankly, they were being jerks. They were being typical kind of, teenage, assholes, being kind of bullies to the weird kid, whatever. And never was that acceptable behavior, but it was understood. They were acting out as teenagers, kind of bullying the weird kid, right? Now you have kids that are bullying a black classmate, attacking him, and in one case, making him dangle from a tree.
Hmm.
Can you see how this hits very differently just because they changed the skin color of the character?
I'm sure, and I feel like it wasn't it wasn't like a coincidence either. And you know what annoys me? What it annoyed me with Obi-Wan Kenobi, and it annoys me with these things that they do all this stuff, and then when you say anything about it, when you're like, "This is kind of weird," or "We don't really like where this is going," we already know what they're going to do with it and what agenda they're going to have, and all this other stuff. The immediate reaction is that we're the bad guys. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We're the bad guys for saying this, but we're not the bad guys. We're at least being honest and saying why this could be considered some kind of issue, or really sort of diverting from what these stories whatever these properties are supposed to be, to sort of push some kind of message. It's again this kind of identity politics.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if we thought that all these people were doing stuff in good faith, and they had been doing stuff in good faith forever until recently, like they always do stuff in good faith, nobody would be thinking this kind of cynical, that they have some weird messaging and whatever. But we've been through the ringer so many times that I think that people just they already know. You know what I mean? They know that this isn't a coincidence, that they're going to try some kind of weird messaging, and nobody has any patience for it. People are
Mm-hmm.
tired of it, and I wish Hollywood would stop with it. And also, listen, there is a lot of stuff where you could make that's very diverse. There's also, back in the day, I've mentioned this to you before. There used to be shows with primarily black casts that were popular. Many of them, that, like, throughout the
Sure.
80s, there were many shows that you turn on and all the people on the show were black, and nobody had an issue with it. It's not that there isn't room, or there isn't a place for everybody, and that there isn't a thing, whether it's a show that has different people of different backgrounds, whether it's a specific show of people of a certain background. There's so many options in what you could do. But this Harry Potter thing, it already exists in the books. There's already a very beloved cinematic adaptation. Doesn't matter how I feel, but there is a very, I didn't mind the first three movies. It just, I think some people are more hooked on it than I am. Although I will have to watch all the rest of the movies. I will do that soon. But I guess what I'm saying is that this thing is established, and switching out something that was established on screen by Alan Rickman, who was fantastic. You know what a great actor, and to now do this swap, it just feels very uninspired. And if you have the trailer, it's not the only thing that feels uninspired. The whole thing just looks like a recreation of the first movie.
Yeah, and we can put it up. I've got it shared. You just put it in presentation mode. We've got it there if you want to watch through it. And I would say that, yeah, the other thing is, and it's obviously not in the trailer. When we watch it, it's not there, but it's in the books and it's in the movies. You'll also remember that there are many characters that comment on Snape, talking about how, is he a dark wizard? Well, I don't know. Well, he looks the sort, right? They're very suspicious of him. They mistreat
Right.
him. They don't like him. So again, all of this plays out very differently when you've got a character there who is black. And again, it's not particularly the actor I have a problem with. I actually think he might do a pretty good job. I've heard many glowing things. He's a really good performer. It's just with this particular character and this particular place and time, it just, man, I don't think it works. I think they did it specifically and intentionally to cause a ruckus, to bring attention to this show. But yeah, put it over on presentation mode and we can watch it.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah. I will say that I like this. I like that they're simply calling it the Philosopher's Stone. I was always irritated by the stupidity of renaming it as the Sorcerer's Stone for an American audience, because I thought we were all just too stupid to know what the Philosopher's Stone was. So that was always irritating.
That's the only good thing they did here, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's some other. We get to see a little bit of him at home. We see some of him getting bullied at school. They do, here. One of the things that's not really approached very much in the films, it is talked about in the books. One of the quirks of Harry being a wizard, being magical, is that his hair grows constantly and in like every direction. There's just nothing he can do with it. And in fact, there's in the books one particular situation, one particular time where his Aunt Petunia shaves his head and it all grows back overnight. And so this whole thing with her cutting his hair, there's nothing special about you, whatever, is kind of amusing. I don't mind that. I actually don't mind the actor here that they got for Harry. I think he looks fine. Maybe a little chubby, but teenage kids, sometimes.
It's fine.
It's not a problem. Not a problem.
I will say this. I don't remember. I think that this... Okay, when I watched this trailer, so many scenes seem very familiar, like a carbon copy of what I saw in the movie. Maybe not as good as what I saw in the movie. More kind of like drowsy. I could be wrong, but...
Yes, it does. It does feel a bit slower. It feels a bit darker. Which obviously, I mean, if they're taking what was done in a 2-hour movie and they're stretching it out into an 8-episode season, then they're going to have more time to work through things a little bit more slowly, put a little bit more detail in there, like the thing with her cutting his hair and so on.
This didn't appear in the movie, that I know, the thing with her cutting his hair. So
it did not.
This was interesting. With the exception of the scene of her cutting his hair, which may be good, most of the scenes seem like drowsy or carbon copies from the movie, to be honest.
Yep. They have them riding the underground here together, and we get our first shot of Nick Frost here as Hagrid. I
like the other Nick Frost better.
The other Hagrid?
I mean, the other actor.
Yes, the actor who played Hagrid in the films. Yes, I like him much, much better. Of course, he's passed now, but I
still like him.
Nick Frost here, I don't know. It's just... I just hear Nick Frost. You know what I mean? I don't hear Hagrid. I don't hear a different character. I hear Nick Frost up here, and any moment he's going to break into, some kind of, cracking jokes or about Star Wars or something.
Oh, I got it now. Understand what I meant. I meant that the guy that played this character in the original movie, I liked him. I don't know what
Yes.
that actor's name was. That's what I was trying to say. I don't
That
know.
was, oh gosh, it's on the tip of my tongue. I don't
I didn't
remember,
know that
but
this was Nick Frost, and I didn't know that the other one was not Nick Frost, but I understand what
yeah.
you're saying. The other one was a different actor, and this one is called Nick Frost. Whoever played the character in the first one, that's the one that I liked.
Was Robbie Coltrane. It finally popped into my head. Yeah, Robbie Coltrane played Hagrid in the films,
Robbie Coltrane
and
had
and
this
he is
wonderful, wonderful energy about him that this guy doesn't have.
and his accent and sort of the gruff, sort of gravelly voice with the accent was perfect. It's perfect. And in fact, listening to the audiobooks with my daughter, one of the things that I love is that the guy that's doing the reading does a near perfect version of Robbie Coltrane. And I love it. So that when he's doing Hagrid's voice, it's great. We see him here at King's Cross where he's getting ready to get on the train. We actually do see him on the train. We see the Weasleys out there hugging. And then actually someone pointed out here, you can see in the reflection while he's watching the Weasleys during their parting, this looks to be like Ginny Weasley here that you can see in the reflection. So that's an interesting little insert there.
Sean, I
While
sent you a DM, the
he's
real
on
Sean
the
Crummell. If you're around, I don't know if you're on your way
yeah,
back from work, but if you're around, sent you a DM.
yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, so we've got it looks like Ginny Weasley here in this shot, which is cool. It's nice, just little inserts there. Clever use of the camera to get her in. Hogwarts Express looks like Hogwarts Express. Slightly different train than they used for the films, but that's fine. I get this looks like a carbon copy right out of the films, right? It looks just exact like the exact
all
same
of it. There's
scene.
also at the train station that he finds a secret place, and this
Hmm.
reminds me. Every single scene had sort of a parallel scene in the original movie
Oh
in
yeah,
the
yeah.
and I don't feel like anything that I've seen here wowed me more than what I saw in the movie. Yes, I know that when they do some of those like broom games or whatever, there's gonna be I don't know if it's called a broom game, that thing that he's flying around. You know what I'm trying to say? That game that he's
Quidditch, yes, the Quidditch
whatever
game.
that game
Yeah.
is that he's flying around and then he's doing awesome and everybody tells him how great he is. Sure, if you look at that, the effects on it in 2026, when you look at the original movie, that scene, it's not wonderful, the effects on it. But you know what? The spirit of the movie is still there. And with the exception of maybe doing stuff that maybe technically is a little more impressive in a scene like that, all the other stuff just seems kind of drowsy. It looks like darker and drowsier and gloomier. And you know what? I like that there's fun. I know that the books are very long, but that doesn't mean that the adaptation has to be long. I feel like the movie was fun. The if you want to call it the Sorcerer's Stone movie, or in England the Philosopher's Stone movie, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. And so here we get Professor McGonagall. We see her here again. I think the original actress, much more iconic appearance, and I think that a lot of what we're seeing here, Price. I mean, we have some of the scenes inside of Hogwarts. What I've heard is that they may be using some of the same sets. Uh, Potentially to try and keep some consistency between these different versions. We see him in classes. We see them at the Quidditch match. They got the two teams walking out during a snowy game. Them running through. For some reason, Hagrid is making a snow angel. I don't know why, other than it's Nick Frost, and they wanted to have something fun for him to do.
Wasn't
Uh,
Nick Frost on Doctor Who?
Nick Frost actually he was in one episode of Doctor Who. He played Santa in the
That's
Dream
what I
Crab
thought.
episode that you love.
Which episode?
The Dream Crabs. The same episode he
Ah,
played Santa.
yeah, now I remember. I remember he was in it.
But of course Nick Frost is better known for his role in the Coronettos trilogy.
People are asking in the chat, and I have to say that I understand what they're asking. John Lithgow, to cast him in the age that they did, it would be one thing if it's for one season, but they're like, he's going to be doing 7 seasons with us. It's like, that's a lot to
Mm,
ask of him, I think, no?
And two, an American for this role, kind of interesting. I like people said, all I see is it was John Davison said, all I see is John Lithgow. Yeah, uh,
I
he
mean,
doesn't really
couldn't
feel like he's disappeared into the role here. Now, I actually haven't seen, we haven't seen an episode, we haven't seen anything of it, but it just feels kind of like, yeah. Oh, look, there's John Lithgow with a beard.
I like the actor, but you know what? I don't think that that's what they needed to do here. There's so many great like English actors that they could have put in this role, and also planned for the fact that they're going to need them for 7 seasons. I really don't understand. It's strange because I like him. I like him as an actor. I really do, but I don't know why they chose him for this role. If there's two things that I find baffling, it's like the Snape guy and him in this role. Two strange casting choices that don't make a whole lot of sense to me.
Mm-hmm. I have no idea why he appears to be holding a tuning fork here. If that was in the books or something, I don't remember it. I don't know why he has that, but anyway, we see him. This is kind of an odd costume for him, so I wonder if this is him somehow out in the real world or something outside of Hogwarts, because it doesn't look like something he would wear while he was a headmaster in Hogwarts. But it's kind of an interesting costume there. We get them on the train. Oh, are you really Harry? Whatever. So, yeah, I think really, Price, my biggest issue here. Yes, the black Snape is a problem. Not that I'm saying there's a problem with casting a black actor in some of these different roles, but specifically in the role of Snape, it produces some very unpleasant side effects that could be part of the show. And I do not see these writers from Hollywood shying away from playing the race card if they have the opportunity.
No, it's they
Right.
love doing that. And Sean
So,
Crumwell's here.
yeah, hey, Sean.
Me.
Yeah, so I think the biggest problem, outside of that issue, is that I think it's too soon for this.
Right.
I think it's way too soon. The characters, the production design, the actors and their portrayals of these characters, especially Snape, played by the incredible Alan Rickman, who has unfortunately passed. These are really iconic. These characters and the production designs are really iconic, especially for the right generation, the people that grew up with these Harry Potter films. And these were a big part of their identity. These are really iconic things. And it just, to me, this feels like it is way too early to say, hey, we're going to do a remake of this, and we're going to recast all these roles and tell this story differently. And then the second problem that I really have with it is that they told us, okay, we're going to make a TV show, and this is going to mean that we're going to have more time for us to make this more faithful to the books. We're not going to leave anything out. We're going to make it really faithful to the original material. And then they turn around and they cast someone black as Snape. Like, it's just like a big middle finger.
Like, the thing is that it's like you said, I think that some roles you could do the swap or whatever it is, and I don't think it's as much of a big deal. It's like the Little Mermaid. She looks a very specific way. Everybody knows what she looks like. I think that the casting in that situation, she didn't look like her. And Disney also did that weird thing at the time where they went out and they said, listen, it has nothing to do with the fact that she's black. We went out and we did casting and we tested a bunch of ladies and we thought that she was the best. Meanwhile, they also went and they did these kind of reactions where quote unquote organic reactions that like black girls sit and watch her and cry and say that their dream was seeing like a black Ariel or whatever it is. So they wanted to have their cake and eat it too. Do you got what I'm saying? On one hand, they're posting on their official like social media black girls weeping that there's a black Ariel, and at the same time they're doing press conferences where they're saying no, we happened to just audition and she happened to be good in the role, so we ended up taking her. But it's like you can't have it both ways. Either you're trying to push this angle that you're trying to push, or you really thought that she was the best in the role. The other thing is, then they had Lin Manuel Miranda. They did videos that they uploaded to their official Disney channel, like the YouTube channel with millions of followers. They uploaded Lin Manuel Miranda sitting and watching videos of black girls weeping when they discover that Ariel is black. Are you with me?
Mm-hmm.
Does that feel like organic to you? Does that feel like they just happened to audition some ladies and she happened to get the role? It sure didn't feel like it to me. And then they also give all these kind of bad, oh, it's important that she looks like the world we live in, blah, 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 and all this other stuff. So Hollywood isn't helping themselves. And not only that, I feel like over the past 10 years, they've annoyed so many people with all of their identity politics that at this point, I kind of feel bad for them. I don't know anything about this actor, but I kind of feel bad for him. Like, I really wish they would stop putting these actors in these type of situations. It's like you said, Professor, there were other roles they could have done something like this, and it wouldn't have been as sort of seen as strange and develop this other meaning for it that's unnecessary. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I explained myself well, but
No, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
like they always want to have their cake and eat it too. And the next thing is anybody that says something, you're a terrible person. How dare you? Even that Snow White thing. They say in the book that Snow White, her skin is as white as snow, or something like that. Is light as white as snow. I think that's what they
Yes.
say
Yeah.
in the original movie. They say that too. This
Yeah.
is how she's described. You could say all the worst things about me in the world, but they chose an actress that doesn't really fit that bill. They also, this was also weird. The Snow White is supposed to be prettier than the Queen, but in this case, I would say, you could say that people may find one woman appealing and another guy will find another woman appealing. I tend to think that if you asked most guys about like the Queen and Snow White in that movie, I think most of them would say that the Queen was prettier than Snow White. Do you get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like it's not something that it would be like. It's not like a Ginger and Marianne type of situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like different strokes for different folks, right?
Right.
People have different tastes. No, it's like there's one that's pretty objectively more attractive than the other
Yes.
one.
Sure. I'm sure there's somebody that may have a quirk and they like this thing, but I'd say 9 out of 10 guys will tell you that it wasn't a Ginger and Marianne situation. Let's put it that way. So they didn't go for the skin color. They made that not make sense. And even then in the movie, and this reminds me of what you're saying, they're going to change stuff here with the book and how it applies to this character now that he has the identity politics. Even there in that Snow White movie, there was a funny thing where instead of making it that she's the fairest of them all, like the most beautiful of them all, I think that's what fairest meant, right?
Well, fairest initially was, how light and fair her skin was. How porcelain and beautiful her
Right, but
skin
wasn't it
was.
also like it means that she's pretty?
Kind of, yes. Yeah.
So pretty and light skinned, okay? That's what it needed to be.
Yeah.
So once they knew, they must have known that they're messing up this whole situation. First of all, in the Snow White, they said that she was born in a snowstorm, and that's why she was called Snow White. So stupid. It was so stupid. Like that somebody with a straight face tried to sell this in the middle of the movie. She's
Yeah.
like, well, she was born in a snowstorm, and they're all like, yeah. And that's like how they explained it. And then when the Queen says, "Who's the fairest of them all?" The mirror answers her that the fairest of them all is Snow White because she's fair to people, but not because she's fair. She treats people fairly.
Yes, it's how she treats people fairly. Yes, it's
But the
hilarious.
reason why that doesn't make any sense is because the Queen would never care if anybody treated anybody else fairly, because the Queen never treated anybody fairly. So she's like, "Oh, how dare she be the fairest of them all?" It's like you wouldn't care about that. You care about the fair, which is pretty and light skinned. You don't care about the fair of her. She was nice to some other person. You don't care about that. You don't give a shit about that. Sorry, Sean.
Sean's actually here to be apologized to. So,
Sean, what do you think of the casting here? That they chose for Harry Potter with like these decisions. Do you think it'll work? It's not going to work.
It looks like a local small town is putting on a Harry Potter play. They
That's
feel like light ranch dressing.
I kind of agree with you. Yeah.
It's those actors. I've seen them all. I've read some of the books. They were all perfectly cast, in my opinion, and I like iconically perfectly cast.
Hmm.
I think it's sad that what was it? Richard Harris was Dumbledore in the first couple.
Yes.
He was spot on, perfect for that role, and it sucks that he died. But
Yep.
this,
Yeah.
I don't know.
When
Oh,
Michael Gambon came on, it took a bit for him to really settle into the role but I think Gambon did a really good job of
but
playing that role in the later
he
films.
also seemed like he was trying not to be Richard Harris, but I think
Yeah.
he should have just been Richard Harris. I also cannot stand race swaps anymore.
Yeah.
The only acceptable one is Billy D. Williams in Batman, and that's because it's Billy D. Williams.
It's
That's the
good.
only one that I'll accept.
I also
Yeah.
like Denzel Washington as the Equalizer because I think Denzel Washington is awesome. He's a really good actor, and I think he does great in those movies.
I never had an attachment, so I wouldn't have recognized them swapping him. But
And it really wasn't even so much of a race swap. It was just kind of they took the same concept from the Equalizer show and just sort of made something different out of it. It wasn't
Completely
necessarily
different.
they were recasting the character,
Well, no,
right,
because
in the same situations.
in the original Equalizer, the guy is like a retired MI6 guy from England. He's an older white guy that was an MI6. He has a English accent. In the case of Denzel Washington, they just made it so that he's from the CIA, a former CIA guy. He's completely American. So they changed so much about it and made it so different that it's between you and me. It's almost just Equalizer in name only.
Yeah.
And I don't mind it because whatever they made that was in name only was actually good. Most of the time when I say, oh, it's in this in name only, it's crappy. In this one case with Denzel Washington, Anton Fuqua, and like the Equalizer, they managed to create something that's very different but enjoyable for whatever it is. The only thing that's like similar is that he's called Robert McCall and the other guy was called Robert McCall, and that he wants to like help people that don't have somebody that'll help them, like the unfortunate people that are like need help. But that's so vague. If you would have called this something else and not the Equalizer, and you would have called him like John Smith, and you had the same screenplay and the same cast, it wouldn't have even mattered. I still would have liked it.
Plus, it was Denzel effing Washington.
Right, and he's good. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, there's certain actors like, even when they were showing the He-Man trailer and whatever, and I think that Idris Elba is going to be Man-at-Arms. Now, do I think that they need to swap every character? I don't necessarily think that, but Idris Elba is a good actor. So in certain situations, I think, well, I don't think it's a situation that they did just some kind of check mark where they're like, oh, we need a guy like this, so we did it. I think that them bringing an actor of a certain caliber to do a role, that I do like that. So in some cases, I think that you could still do it. And I'll tell you another thing. And if for the past 10 years they weren't bothering us with these constant identity politics swaps, I think that if suddenly there was a swap now here and there with like a really good actor, I think most people wouldn't care. It's just that at this point people are tired and they're suspicious and they have no patience anymore. And I think that's where we're at right now.
Every time, even before all that, anytime I would see a race swap, it would immediately take me out of the movie because they don't look like the character that I think they're supposed to look like. And I will never get used to it. I don't like it. I don't like justifying it. It's also, I think it also touches on my irritation with people trying to change history. It's like, no, it was made like this as this character. Let's not. If you want to do this story, then do it right. But that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, fair meant pretty long before it meant light complexion. For Disney, it meant fearless, brave, just, brave, and true. Why would an evil queen give a shit? Sorry, Sean. Everyone is more fair than her. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly the problem. It's where the movie falls apart already in like the first act of that stupid Snow White Disney thing, because the second that she's mad that she's the fairest of them all because she treated somebody fairly is the most bizarre plot development I've seen in years. You know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense to me. So I don't know. That's really a problem. I will say this. I don't know. Did you guys see Pierre Chan, the guy that works with Nerdrotic, as part of Nerdrotic's crew that does the editing of his videos? He did some kind of thing that I'm sure involves a lot of AI, but he's also a good editor. That he did this thing with like Black Snape. Did you see it?
I did not know.
Man, I want to tell you something. I'm ashamed to say that it kind of like I looked at it and I thought to myself, forget Harry Potter. I kind of want to watch what they did in this AI trailer because they did their own trailer. I'll show you this. I think nothing I say is going to really explain it unless you watch it. So let me find it. Give me 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Pierre Chan. That Pierre Chan guy has done things over the years, but this is it. This is like his masterpiece.
This is all Price is going to see when he sees Nick Frost playing.
What's
playing Hagrid?
I know Nick Frost mostly from Shaun of the Dead.
Absolutely, yeah. That's if you were to say like, oh, I see Nick Frost. Like, what am I thinking of when I see Nick Frost? This is what I see whenever I see Hagrid, I'm gonna see him in Hot Fuzz.
Yeah. Or if you pull up the Shaun of the Dead one and he has the T-shirt that says "I got wood."
So not sure if they have any Shaun of the Dead. Oh my god!
So let me show you this thing.
Wow,
Simon Pegg. I found your picture for you, Sean.
Perfect. That's what Hagrid's got on
under
the coat.
Exactly. Yeah, this is what I'm going to see. This is what he wears to bed at night. Is I got wood T-shirt. Oh yeah. There's so much wrong with this. Like I said, I'm not sure I would have a problem with this if it were made another decade from now. Like after a lot of the people who've seen the films have aged out, even their kids have aged, out, and then it's like a whole different thing. Like it seems so ill-timed. And as I said, I still feel like the characters that they have, the portrayals from the films were and are still iconic in
I
culture.
think Comics Division has rated our stream on Rumble. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, Comics Division. We got a raid. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Comics.
Didn't see that. Fantastic. Good to see everyone here.
Yeah, thank you so much. Comics Division is a good guy.
Yeah, wonderful. Very cool. Yeah, so I honestly, I will I'll say that this first season is going to be not well viewed. It is not going to do as badly as a Starfleet Academy or an Acolyte, but it is not going to get the numbers that they're hoping for. It's not going to be well viewed. They're going to blame it on racism and all sorts of whatever. We're going to get videos of Simon Pegg in his car saying, if you don't like, my friend Nick Frost is Hagrid, then you're no Harry Potter fan. To my mind, or something, right?
That is kind of messed up too. Like I think you were touching on it. When I was getting set up about feeling bad for that actor.
Yeah,
and if they're totally just rage baiting and using him, he's never gonna get work after this. Is he?
Yeah, I mean, all those actors that they've done this to, you end up never hearing about them again. Like Moses Ingram, you barely hear anything about her. What happened to Moses Ingram? What happened to like Amandla Stenberg or whatever her name is? You don't hear about any of these people. They just, a lot of times. At the time, I don't know who said this. There were a few people that said it. Maybe Drinker was one of them. That he would say something like that. They used them as a weapon and a shield. And I agree with it. They weaponize the diversity angle, but then when things go wrong, they hide behind them and they use them as a shield, they get, absorb all the fire, and then they're just like, they leave them out to dry.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's all very annoying. It's annoying to these actors. It's annoying to the viewers. I think that they should stop doing all of this. And as for the popularity of this show, I think that Harry Potter is a really big brand. It's going to have viewers. I think that they're going to get a lot of viewers and it's going to be popular, and a lot of people are going to watch it because it's just such a popular series. They could do something that's even mediocre, and at least that first season I think is going to deliver huge numbers. The question is what happens later if people think they're not doing a good job, if people fall off. But generally speaking, you have something with that brand, just the brand alone, Harry Potter, new series, somebody's going to watch it. That premiere episode is going to have numbers through the roof, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm, probably. Well, you also got all the people that are like going to tune in to see how bad it is. So,
maybe people like us are going to sit around and make some jokes about it, but honestly, I think that it's going to have a large group of people watching it. It's going to have huge viewership all over the world. They've built theme parks around this whole Harry Potter thing. When it comes to video games and books and merchandise, this thing is huge. It's huge. It's almost too big to fail.
But those theme parks are all built around the production design and music and styling of the films.
Yeah,
the
so
movies.
I've
been there.
Is true.
Went there just a few months ago, and yeah, I mean that was one of the things that was actually magical about walking around in there is that you were hearing the John Williams score. You would hear it was coming out of hidden speakers and stuff around you. Sometimes you're like, wow, this it feels like I'm in the movie, right? And so do you think Universal's gonna dump money into redoing parts of their parks and stuff? Absolutely not. Now they might introduce some merch that has to do with the movies, possibly. I don't know, but it feels like it's all of a thing. It's all of this production design from the films and the characters in the films, and then to change that up, I don't think they're even gonna bother. To be quite honest,
it's the most poorly thought out thing to do is to remake those movies.
Yeah.
And it was all what's his face just wanting to make money.
Yeah.
Or potentially be look attractive to be sold to Netflix.
Yeah, but I really know that it seems like it's going to be some big flop, but this ain't no Acolyte. This is not Starfleet Academy. There are people that like those books that are going to watch this show. It's not going to be like that other thing. Even if this show is mid, which is what it looks like in the commercial, maybe I'm wrong in the trailer. I think that it's gonna still have a solid viewership.
Yeah. Here's my prediction price.
Okay.
$20 bill. It's going to take a few years to get there. I don't think this show finishes its run. At least not on the same streaming service.
That is wild.
After year 3, year 4, the viewership will have dropped off so much. Money will be running short on all these streaming services, and the viewership will be down so poorly that it ends up moving to someone else, Netflix or Amazon or something like that has to produce the last few seasons.
TNT.
This is a wild prediction, Professor. This is wild stuff. I don't know how
I do not think that. I think that this is going to be divisive for a lot of fans. I think there are a lot of people who are going to show up, going to be curious about this first season, and I think there's going to be a lot more that are not going to come back.
Speaking of divisive, if you're new to this channel or you came from my other channel or somebody sent you here from another stream, make sure to like and subscribe because that way you'll always know when we're streaming and then you can watch us again at your own leisure. What were you saying, Professor?
No, that was it. I was saying I think there will be a lot of people who are going to be very curious about this to start, and then those people who felt it was divisive, felt the choices they made in the show were not as good, felt the portrayals of the characters were not as solid. They're going to get up through the third well, a lot of this, I think a lot of the audience is going to just drop off between seasons 1 and 2. And I think they're going to lose even more as they move forward with seasons 3 and season 4, especially if they do decide to insert a variety of different political and ideological stuff into the stories that was not there in the original books. So yeah, we'll wait and see. But I have a feeling that the interest in this is going to taper off pretty quickly over the first couple of years, and eventually they're going to have to go look for a different studio to fund the rest of their seasons or something if they keep going.
Already lost me.
Yeah, I'm not watching it. I think it's going to be terrible, frankly.
Mm-hmm.
What, the Harry Potter series?
The series, yeah, I think it's going to be a shadow of what they did with the films.
Mm-hmm.
I'm absolutely going to watch it.
They're going to try and recapture the magic of the films. They're going to try and do stuff, but without the John Williams music, without some of the incredible performances that they got from the likes of Alan Rickman and some of the other just A-tier actors that they got to come on and make these films, and the A-tier directors they got to come on and produce some of these films.
Oh, wait, there's something interesting going on in the comments.
Yeah.
Why is it divisive? Divisive. You guys and other right-wing YouTuber are losing your shit over nothing. I don't even understand the comment. First of all,
was Ben-Hur remade with a black actor in one of the lead roles that was originally played by someone white?
I don't know. Never heard of that. But what I'll say is I want to answer this person that was here complaining. First of all, in my video and in the thumbnail in the video, I wrote that the trailer is divisive. And objectively, when I hear so many people that don't like this casting choice, I think, and even complaining about what Professor was saying, the music, the overall look of the show, the lower level actors, a lot of things, including we even talked about John Lithgow. I would say that it's fair to say that this trailer is divisive. I don't think everybody was pleased with it. So I think that saying that the Harry Potter trailer is divisive, that's what I said in my video title. I don't think that that's a stretch by any means of the imagination. This doesn't even have anything to do with politics. You said, right-wing YouTuber or whatever it is. This has nothing to do with that. Even beyond the fact that they did the casting of Snape, I will say that even without that, we'd still be having a long conversation as if this show is necessary, if it's capturing the magic, if it's not just a cheap carbon copy. All the things that we said aside from Snape still would apply to this. So
yeah, even if they had cast a different actor as Snape, this still would feel like a lesser version of what was done with the films. Again, I hope that I don't want Papa Asidu to be getting nasty emails or he claims death threats. I don't want any of that stuff. No, I don't think that's necessary. I don't ever want to see any actor getting anything like that. When I'm saying it's divisive, I feel that there are a lot of fans that are connected to the film versions of this. We're expecting a more faithful reproduction of the books. If they were going to do a TV show, they were going to do something more faithful to the books. And at this point, there's a lot of questions as to whether or not that's going to be the case. And introducing an actor playing Snape who is black, who does not fit the descriptions that were given in the books, and is already being given a very difficult job and having to fill the shoes of Alan Rickman, it's very there's a lot of questions as to why they chose to do this. I
have something else to say here, that every time you say something that you're like, well, this doesn't good or this isn't a good show, I always hear like, oh, you right wingers. I'm not even the most political guy in the world to begin with. Sure, we talk about politics sometimes. I'm not like obsessive over politics. Even if somebody like has whatever political views, as long as they're not kind of like trying to impose those views like, aggressively on me. I'm a live and let live kind of guy, and I've always seen myself as something of a middle of the road guy. me thinking that these things have been overplayed, all these swaps and all this identity politics and all of Hollywood's agenda peddling over the past 10 years. The fact that I'm saying this, it shouldn't even be a right wing or left wing thing. It's just that if you're like a reasonable person and looking at it and looking at the current status of the entertainment industry and of movies and science fiction shows and IPs and all that, if you're being honest, they've ruined it with all that stuff. So I reject this whole idea and this whole kind of like, oh, it's you darn, you meddling right wingers or whatever it is. Really, really tired of that rhetoric as well. It's like anybody now sees a show getting canceled or something and doesn't know what to say, immediately they go for that. I saw that kind of stuff with Starfleet Academy. Let me see if I can find it. I want to show you. There was a guy that said something that I thought was very annoying. I think, I don't know if I showed it to you or not, but let me show it to you anyways. If I can find it.
The music is a big sticking point, though.
Yeah, the music
those
in the
themes are
the
so
music is a
iconic.
sticking point too.
The music in the trailer is mid at best. The palette of everything that they're showing is very dull. It's very drab. It's very dark in the way that they've decided to shoot it. Now, again, I don't know that this holds up for the entirety of the show, but this is the trailer. This is supposed to be representative of what they're showing. It's supposed to get us excited, and it looks very dull. Let's see.
So basically, this is what I wanted to show you here. Can you see it? So this guy says right-wing haters killed something. It was objectively amazing. It wasn't objectively amazing. It wasn't objectively amazing at all. Starfleet Academy had one of the best first seasons of any Trek show, period. No, you've never watched Trek. You are not a real Star Trek person. I'm sorry. This right-wing spin and this Star Trek thing, this is all nonsense. These anti-woke losers would have had a stroke at Riker, rizzing up non-binary aliens in TNG. Star Trek has always been progressive. All a bunch of nonsense. And then, my response was objectively amazing to you and the other activists that watched it. But the $10 million an episode really needed more than 3 viewers per episode. So that's one thing that you have. And then, here's another thing that this is something that I saw today. I don't know if you saw this. You know that Matt Jarbo, I can't believe I'm even mentioning him because it's just not really my cup of tea, this guy. This Matt Jarbo over the years, every time I run into him online, I've had a few interaction with him. He's always annoying.
He's
this guy?
Around?
Mm-hmm.
Mundane Matt, whatever it is. I don't even know. I have no interest in this guy or what he does. I'm not even sure why he thinks he's a thing. Maybe somebody knows who he is or somebody watches his videos. I have no idea. I've run into him, like we've had some back and forth on Twitter over the years. Always a strange, kind of guy. And I say strange, it's the nicest thing I can say because there's probably much worse things I could say about him. So basically, he tagged or tried to tag Lord and Miller, who I think Lord must have shut down his Twitter account. Because before, I think this was a Twitter account. Are you with me?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if he ever had one.
Now I'm so curious about it. So, sorry, Philip Lord and Chris Miller. I cannot in good conscience support Project Hail Mary after Andy Weir went on a stream with noted chud critical drinker. For years, this man has tried to destroy everything that you guys stand for, and to give him a pass like that is a bridge too far. Are you with me?
Mm-hmm.
So, first of all, this guy who has like 20,000 subs, made this big statement. He got like 58 likes and 820 comments. Like, that's a pretty big ratio. You know what I mean? And I wrote this, Nerdrotic wrote, how will they ever recover from this? Jeremy put this, I'm not even sure what this is. What is this?
This is not kill stream. I don't have kill streams on my channel.
Well, I mean, to be fair, you'd make a lot more money if you did. But just say
Jeremy is in my backstage. Oh boy. Okay.
Oh, all right. I'm gonna go. I gotta run. My phone's almost dead anyway, so I'll talk to you guys all later.
All right.
My phone's almost dead too, and I'm here.
All right. Okay, Jeremy. I'll be fair. I call you out all the time. Here you are. I wasn't planning to have you on. I do want this. Hey, I am going to call you out on something. Where's this damn fishing video?
I am going to be nice. I'm not going to play Twitter Jeremy.
I don't even know what it was, but I guess the idea was that Matt Jarbo ran away before Jeremy arrived. And then Nerdrotic wrote, how will they ever recover from this? What I wrote, I was very clinical. I wrote, so much to unpack here. What do Lord and Miller stand for? Aside from wanting their movie to succeed, Drinker has 2.4 plus million subs, so why would Lord and Miller object to an interview on his channel to promote it? 3, why would Lord and Miller care about your boycott? And that's what I have to say to that Matt guy. I guess later now, when he saw that he was being... ratioed into oblivion, he now posted this 17 minutes ago. Matt Jarbo, this tweet has obviously blown up, which is fantastic. So thank you very much for visiting my Twitter account. He's trying to put like a positive spin on it. Do you get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Yep.
Like, I wouldn't be so happy if you had 58 likes and 820 comments. I wouldn't be so thrilled if I were you. You know what I mean? Like, that is a pretty big ratio. So he's making it seem like this was always, he loves it. Here's a video version of this tweet in case you need to get mad at something else. Please understand that you should really not be listening to anyone who has never picked up a wrench about fixing your plumbing. And if that metaphor goes over your head, what does he want now? Is that because they're the guy that was the Homeland Security does plumbing, or is this another... What's he trying to say? Is because there's something with some plumbing now with the Homeland Security guy. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
No.
Okay, so basically the guy that replaced Christy Nome, he apparently ran a plumbing business or something. So people are making fun of him that if he ran a plumbing business, he shouldn't be involved in Homeland Security. People making fun of him, people like this Matt Jarbo guy. I don't know if this comment has something to do with that. If he was tying the political thing with this thing, I have no idea. But let me see what this video is out of sheer curiosity.
What I'm going to say is going to definitely not win me any friends, and I don't really care about that at this particular point in time. But I have to talk to you guys about Project Hail Mary and, my reasoning for not going to see it in theaters and my reasoning for telling you to not also go and see it in theaters. And if you have gone and seen it, don't go see it again. Okay. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, Matt, what the hell? Why are you talking about this? This movie is amazing. I've heard nothing but good things. How could it possibly be something worth boycotting and not seeing in the best possible screen available? And that, of course, has everything to do with this. So Andy Weir, the writer of the book as well as The Martian, went on a podcast with Will Jordan, a.k.a. The Critical Drinker, to yuck it up about science fiction, fantasy, YouTube, and everything else in between. And I just find that is a step too far. Will Jordan, Critical Drinker, and his acolytes are people who want to see Hollywood destroyed in order to then push their own manosphere message. If you listen to things that he says, he very much, winks and dog whistles to his audience in very sexist, bigoted, discriminatory, misogynistic, sexist, I think I already said that, ways in order to make sure that his audience is always angry about something. Right? Critical Drinker is just nothing near critical thought, and he doesn't want his audience even remotely thinking like that. Because if they stop for a second to actually listen to the things that he says, they would realize the end game of what he's attempting to do. And by Andy Weir going on to a podcast with him, this is exactly playing into that particular plan. And that is access. These guys all want access. And they will tip the scale. They will put their thumbs on the social rage scale in order to do everything in their power to get.
I can't believe
that
this
access.
kid is still.
This is one of the most idiotic rants I've ever heard in my life.
Really calls it for
the
what
thing
it
is that the people that want access are the access media.
The access media. What about all of these YouTubers, these podcasters who kiss these producers' asses constantly and promote all of their stuff without any kind of criticism whatsoever? You get all these Star Wars YouTubers that are practically jacking off on screen every time they watch some sort of Star Wars trailer. So, oh my God, oh look, it's Grogu. Like it's just nonstop kissing ass and jerking off to these shows without even 1 ounce of critical thinking. And he's trying to say that someone like Critical Drinker is the one who's the access media, when we have all of these other YouTubers, all of these other podcasters and stuff that are literally being taken on cruises and invited into the studios and given thousands of dollars in gifts and stuff to take home with them so that they will promote the latest Star Wars show or the latest Star Trek or whatever. This is the most idiotic rant I have ever heard. This is moronic.
Idiotic. This is beyond like anything. This is so stupid. And this out of like, let's put it this way, when the shills, like out of the 500 last movies that they got all the access to, the fact that some author sits down and talks to like Drinker, I think that to make him seem like he's the access media because some author talked to him is such a disingenuous spin. This guy has no shame, this guy. And really, my interaction with him in the past, he comes off as and this is just my personal opinion, such a weasel.
Say that these guys are just chuds online, which they are, but they have a nefarious endgame in plan. They want to be able to have a seat at the table without doing any of the work. They lament the creative process of anything, but they still want the power. What does that remind you of? Modern conservatives, perhaps? The modern GOP under Donald Trump? Right? This is the whole idea about trying to cause a...
You stupid idiot. You do realize that the Critical Drinker is sitting in Scotland and probably couldn't care less about anything you just said?
As much outrage by using your own nostalgia against you and turning it into something that they can weaponize in order to then make them seem like the people who have the answer, who have the solution, and they alone can fix it. There's a reason why many years ago I got a lot of flack for calling these people basically just the McCarthys of the modern internet age. Right? If they don't like your message, they will try to cancel you. If they don't like what you
nobody's
have to say,
canceling anyone. It's everyone on the left who does the canceling. What are they talking about?
Non grata, while they again can fix everything without having 1 ounce of skill or experience to back it up.
I'm pretty sure I remember this guy getting into crap whenever he was like false reporting channels.
What I'm
I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did. This is the kind of loser shill who does that kind of thing. Literally, I'm not gonna watch this movie because the author went on a channel I don't like. You know what you really don't like? The author went on the channel and had a really good time, and all of the people who were there in the chat were telling him what a great book he had written, and were talking about how much they had enjoyed his film. And he was having a laugh with them, and in fact was showing how incredibly based he is, making some jokes about how how terrible he was at trying to write women, and how maybe next time he's going to try not making them look so much like assholes, and all of this stuff. Like, Andy Weir had a great time on that channel, was doted on by a lot of people who love the movie. You say that he's saying that everybody who, he's his only job, the only thing that Critical Drinker ever does is to hate on things, except that he loved this movie. And that's why you hate it. You hate it because Drinker liked it, because Drinker invited the author on, because the author accepted, because they see eye to eye on some things. That's not acceptable to you. So you're going to decide to, I'm not going to go see this movie now because, guilt by association. You just screw off. These people, I can't stand them. Drive me freaking crazy.
So bizarre. Yeah, I'm not going to give this guy any more attention. I think this thing was just a bunch of nonsense.
Censor beeps always make me laugh.
Well, Moondog Main, this is the guy that doesn't like us. Hey, Price, Eric Debunks is streaming right now. Send him the link, LOL. Not to sound like Thanos, but I don't know who Eric Debunks is.
Yeah, we're not just inviting some shill we've never heard of onto the show just because he has 2 followers and you're one of them. So thanks.
I don't even know who. I seriously don't know who that is. I know I sounded like douchey like Thanos now. I always think of that meme. I don't even know who you are.
I don't even know who you are. I don't know.
Right, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like we're not inviting Nick Fuentes or any of his people on the show either. So thank you.
Yeah, no, that's not our scene. Definitely,
no. You can just forget all about that.
Obviously, I don't know who Eric Debunks is, but I'm sure he's debunking something as we speak. Now I'm curious, though. It's gonna like an itch that I have to scratch. Like, who is Eric Debunks? But in any case, yeah, no.
Something tells me if I heard of him, I probably wouldn't care.
Not only that, I actually think that whoever that Moon main guy was, who didn't like us, I did treat what he says seriously. I responded to it, and I thought it was like a measured response. It was thoughtful. I wasn't just a douche.
Oh, I mean, we didn't raise our voices, yell at him or anything, call him an asshole, whatever.
Not at all.
No, first of all, I don't think he was around for most of what we started talking about earlier, saying like, here's why casting a black actor is a problem. There are other black characters. Kingsley Shacklebolt is a black character in Harry Potter. People love him because he is a badass. Like he is the Shaft of the Harry Potter universe. People love Kingsley Shacklebolt, and he's a great character. He's a black character. He was specified as where he was from in the books. They talked about him, and then when they introduced him in the movies, he was really loved. People liked the way that they portrayed him, the actor that they got, and everything. And so it's the swap from. Maybe you say, oh, you can still have a black man who's pale and who's sickly looking and has long greasy hair, as he's described in the, in the books, whatever. If you want to say that, fine. But again, making Snape black adds significant issues, racial issues to the text that were not there in the original book. It was not presented in that way, and it feels very intentional. Like they made the choice to put a black actor into this role so that they could, in fact, put those racial elements into the story. And if the point of making this series was to be more faithful to the books than the films could be, you've already lost me.
Mm-hmm.
You've already lost me.
By the way, I just want to tell you that some people were upset at me, and this is a good segue because Sean is here, so I was wondering what his opinion is. Some people were upset at me. I made a video on my review channel, and I kind of just was exploring if perhaps the movie Project Hail Mary, which I said I enjoyed, I just was wondering if it's not a bit overhyped, because on one hand, I was saying that I thought it was a pretty good movie, but it's a pretty good movie that could have been probably a very good movie with better editing, but it's being treated like an excellent movie because there aren't any good movies out there. So people are really craving a decent movie, and that's why people are maybe giving it more credit. That was my opinion, that perhaps it deserves. Now, I guess a lot of people, this did not sit well with people. I got some kind of backlash even from some people for this video that I did. Not really sure why. I thought it was a very fair and review. And at the end of the day, even if somebody doesn't agree with me, it's not the end of the world. But since Sean is sitting here, have you seen Project Hail Mary?
Yes.
What did you think about it?
I liked it a lot. Your opinion. I didn't see your video. Your opinion sounds a lot like Robot Heads, where he was like, "It's a very good movie. If this was the 90s, it would have been lost in the mix."
I feel the exact same way, and we had a stream with Robot Head, and this was something that we all discussed. Professor, I think, was there as well, I believe, or maybe you weren't there that day. I don't know.
I wasn't able to be there for the discussion that day, but yeah,
but in any
we talked
case,
about it on Brown together.
Oh, okay. In any case, that's why I remember talking with you. I was on the same page with most of what a lot of people we were talking to were saying. I think that it's a fine movie. There's nothing wrong with it. I didn't give it a failing grade. It was a decent movie. It's just that the scores it has on Rotten Tomatoes is like 98% from critics and 98% from audience. That's like a Godfather level score. Unfortunately, I don't think it's a Godfather level movie. Did I enjoy it? Sure. I thought it was enjoyable. It was an enjoyable movie. I wouldn't give it that high of a score. So I don't know why people are upset. People sometimes get upset at the weirdest things. It reminds me of the time that there was like a Godzilla and Kong movie or something. The second Godzilla and Kong team up movie, or whatever that was, where I had some criticisms of it, and there were people that were really angry. It's like, we can't always like the same movies. Sometime, and in any case, like Project Hail Mary, I did like it, but somebody could have an opinion that maybe you don't agree with 100%. There's nothing wrong with that. I like hearing opinions different from mine, even if I don't agree with them. The only catch is if there's opinions different than mine, I like to hear something more. Like those kind of people that love The Acolyte, they can usually not tell you why they like The Acolyte, except for that they like The Acolyte. Usually it's because of some kind of activism. When you actually tell them what was good about the storytelling, why did you like it? What do you think made it work? If I'm wrong, what's your take? What makes it right? What did you like? They can never answer that question. Like when I like something and you ask me why I like it, I can explain to you why I liked it. When I don't like something and you ask me why I didn't like it, I can explain why I didn't like it. Those activist type, they can't explain anything. They're just like you're an istinophobe because you didn't like it. But what did you like about it? I'm blocking you. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to share a secret with you both. I think that you know this. I must have told you this before. I want to tell you that I was a swell guy. I was a swell guy when it comes to Project Hail Mary. I wasn't petty or vindictive because one of the top producers for this movie, a guy called Aditya Sid, who is the CEO of the production company that belongs to Lord and Miller. He's the CEO of the company. He's one of the top producers of Project Hail Mary. He once acted like a complete douche, annoyed me, and then blocked me and ran away on Twitter. And tried also to publicly make me look bad. So I don't like that. But even so, I haven't mentioned this until now, and I treated that movie strictly like a professional.
Nice.
So
I liked the movie. Long story short, I really liked Rocky. I thought it had a lot of heart, and I can see a valid point in people being starved for good movies.
Yeah, I don't know who this Eric person you speak of is. I'm not saying he's good or bad. I simply don't know him. And for whatever it's worth, I don't know what platforms he's on. I'm on a few different ones. I'm not saying I certainly am not the biggest content creator, whatever you want to call it, out there. Not the biggest YouTuber. I'm not the biggest anything. I don't know who this Eric guy or what he has. Regardless, though, we just don't know who he is or what you specifically want from us. So, I was trying my best to be polite to you. I don't know what you want. It feels like you're trying to stir up something, but I'm not sure what it is that you're trying to stir up. So, it is what it is. I do want to show you something. Are you ready to go down this rabbit hole with me?
Is this the tweet?
Okay. So basically,
rabbit hole.
This is like some Price lore. So I'm going to show you now Project Hail Mary. Are you guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we need the movie. Where's the movie? Okay. This is the movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can see what I'm sharing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you see this name here?
Mm-hmm.
That is Aditya Sud. So the producers of this movie, Amy Pascal, Ryan Gosling feels more like a kind of contractual thing. Phil Lord, Christopher Miller, obviously, they're the director producers. It's their company. Aditya Sud, who's the CEO of their production company. Are you with me? And then you have Rachel O'Connor. Have no idea who that is. Andy Weir. Okay. So you saw this name, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You saw Aditya Sud. You'll remember the name, Sean?
It's like a steel trap.
Okay. Aditya Sud. I want everybody here to remember this, even in the chat. Now I'm going to go find this. Let me find exactly what I mean. Aditya Sud? Is that one name? I don't even know. Okay.
Aditya Sud, S-O-O-D. Yeah.
So let me do this. Okay, Aditya Sud. Let me see if I can find this. Okay, so basically, let me do this for a second. Tell some jokes.
What's a pirate's favorite letter?
What? C, R, or whatever.
You'd think it was the R, but it's really the C.
It's always the same joke, and I can't remember it. So let me see for a second. This is very interesting, okay? I'm going to share this right now. And are you ready?
I wish you hadn't shared the sequels.
I'm not. I think I unblocked this guy. Is this guy? He's not blocked here. You know what? I'm unblocking. Just so you know, I didn't block this guy initially. It's like this guy blocked me, and when somebody blocks me, I then block him. But I'll show you what I mean. So basically, this guy. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
I said this. Important. Have no idea why The Rise of Skywalker is trending, but it's one of the worst movies ever made, period. And at the time, this got a lot of traction when I tweeted it. Keep in mind, this is before Elon Musk bought Twitter. And what happened at the time is that Disney had paid money, allegedly, to kind of... There was a lot of talk about why people didn't like The Rise of Skywalker. There was like a huge dialogue about it online for like 24 hours, and it kept trending. Now, a lot of times what would happen, and people don't remember this now because they're all so cozy with what Twitter looks like today. At the time, suddenly Twitter would have it would reframe the narrative. You'd look at Twitter, and instead of searching what's trending now, it would give you headlines, but the headlines it would give were never objective. Meaning it's like everybody was saying this movie sucks, and people were saying The Last Jedi sucks, and people were saying that The Last Jedi and this movie suck, and Disney sucks, and the sequel trilogy sucks. That was like the 24-40. We have these conversations all the time, but I don't know what happened in those few days that people kept talking about it over and over again. It was trending all the time. So Disney probably picked up the phone, maybe even, I allegedly, maybe even paid for something, and suddenly Twitter create like a narrative, which they write, people are having trouble deciding whether they like Rise of Skywalker or The Last Jedi more. Which was obviously false. Now, the second that thing started with that headline, I quickly got this tweet out, and I feel like they didn't manage to squash me. At the time, after this, I kept getting shadow banned and all this other stuff, but somehow this tweet went through the radar. Today, this isn't a big deal, but at the time, this was a big deal. So I had this thing, have no idea why The Rise of Skywalker is trending, but it's one of the worst movies ever made, period. And then this guy, which I believe played an Avatar. I don't know if somebody could check if Dileep Rao was in Avatar. Could one of you?
Looking.
Dileep Rao. I could be wrong. I thought he was in Avatar.
Got his IMDb. He was in Avatar. Max Patel, Dr. Max Patel.
Was he? Which Avatar was he in? Just the first one?
It looks like just the first one I'm seeing. No, he was in Fire and Ash and Way of Water as well.
Excellent. So the one of the guys who was in the lab, he's like the doctor from the lab from Avatar. He answered, and he wrote, "It's not good, but it's not as bad as the prequels, particularly 1 and 2." And then Aditya Sud said it's 1,000,000 times more cynical. Now, you remember that Lord and Miller were fired by Kennedy, right? So he answers him, it's also better just in terms of competence and coherence, though the Darth Maul fight is better than all of it. The work in Attack of the Clones by all involved is genuinely awful. And then I wrote, I disagree. The prequels, especially The Phantom Menace, The Attack of the Clones has issues, but they never took a dump on the Star Wars franchise as anything we saw in TLJ and Trust, which were just high-budget, low-quality fan fiction. Now, in this part, Aditya Sud and I went back and forth. He went later and deleted his tweets. I probably took a screenshot somewhere. It would take me a very long time to find them because I have to go to like an old computer and try to find this thing. The fact that he went back and he had to scrub this, I don't know if we were talking about Kathleen Kennedy. I don't know what went on here, okay? But just for my answers, I wrote, although it was obvious, and again, this is the guy from Avatar, all 3 movies, he plays a doctor there, and this is the guy that's the producer and the CEO of Lord and Miller's company, the guy that scrubbed his tweets. Are you with me, Professor?
I'm here.
So I wrote, I disagree. The prequel, I already said that. And then, although it was obvious, what I meant was that without Lucas's presence or influence, the sequel trilogy feels like it was written by amateurs. Even the prequels, which were flawed, told a cohesive story that ended with a satisfying conclusion. Disney failed big time. Better, because maybe he didn't like how I worded it. I don't know what he said because I don't have that. He went back and deleted. Didn't delete all of his tweets, but he deleted these. I disagree. I can tell you what the story of the prequel trilogy is in a few sentences. I can't do the same with the sequel trilogy because it feels like something written by an algorithm inside a boardroom. Prequels take you from A to B to C. Sequels don't and are mind-numbing crap. Poop, whatever you want to call it. So then the guy from Avatar pops in and he says, this is okay, so Aditya Sud said something. I don't know what it is because he scrubbed it. He did not want people to see what this is. Do you get what I'm saying?
Okay.
I don't know what he said. Maybe he thought to himself that the fact that even he's entertaining the fact that the sequels shit the bed, saying anything negative about him, he got scared and scrubbed them. Very interesting that he didn't scrub all of his tweet, but scrubbed these. And the doctor says, this is a really good tweet. I largely agree. I just think a lot of the acting was really subpar. The gestures, broad and not mythic, that's what the original trilogy ran on. That was its fuel. I really like Rogue One a lot, and I'm enjoying The Mandalorian. And then I wrote, The Last Jedi was disrespectful to longtime Star Wars fan because Kathleen Kennedy used it to implement a misandrist agenda. Even worse, Rian Johnson proves that he doesn't understand Star Wars, and his technique of subverting expectations is nothing more than cinematic trolling. And what did Aditya Sud say and not remove? Do you see it? Misandrist? Okay, blocked.
He just didn't understand the word, I think.
Oh, he understood it very well. And then there was something else, which I can't find it. Let me see. Recent. That guy now, I can't find him. Okay, the guy, this weirdo, whatever his name is, Dilip Rao. Let me see if I can unblock him, and I'll do a refresh here. So what he did was, I can't find it now, but the second he wrote misandrist, okay, blocked, the other guy said, yes, like I have to block him now as well, but I can't find it. So they both blocked me, and then I blocked them because if somebody blocks me, I go block them. But the fact that the guy from, like, a guy that played in Avatar movies and the guy that produces movies, like he was the producer of this Hail Mary thing, and he's the CEO of Chris Lord and Phil Miller's, or whatever their names are, his company, the fact that they both had to run away and block me and start scrubbing tweets says a lot more about them than it does about me, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not impressed with this guy. You know, I know it's been years since then. I'm not impressed with this guy. I will always remember that this guy, and this is just my personal opinion. I'm weighing in. This is my personal and professional opinion. But this is my opinion. I think that this Aditya Sud guy is a weasel. That's what I think about him.
Yeah, well, it does seem to have acted that way.
And then if you go to data like Aditya Sud has blocked you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think he's a weasel. That's what I think. And Dilip Rao, whatever his name is, has blocked me as well. So, and I did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong.
Well, some people can't handle arguments. It's a problem for them to try.
I have to wonder what he went back and scrubbed, and why the other guy removed that he blocked me too. Those were all there. I know that the other guy blocked me afterwards, and he tells this Aditya Sud that after seeing that I said that Kathleen Kennedy had a misandrist agenda, this is what triggered them. They had to jump ship.
Well, they all wanted to work on Star Wars, like soon after, even though.
Well, this was after she fired them.
Oh.
Basically, Aditya Sud was fired along with Chris Lord and Phil Miller, or whatever their names are. He should have agreed with me here. Maybe the reason he initially answered is because deep down he agreed. But the problem is the guy. I don't know. I haven't looked recently. But I think that a long time ago, I looked at his feed, and he has like all these pictures of him like hugging Elizabeth Warren or something. I don't know. I could be wrong, but there's something along those lines. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that in his mind, me saying that was like a huge red flag. He needed to run away and scrub things in a way that never even looks like he entertained a real conversation with me. And the Avatar guy got scared as well. So a guy that appeared in 3 of the most high profiting whatever box office movies, at least the first one is like the biggest profiting movie ever. He ran away and went to hide after he blocked me. And the other guy that produces big time, movies, in a big time production company, he's the CEO and he's considered like a big time producer, ran away and blocked me and went to hide.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you used a dirty word.
I said that misandrist. That was it. That was the end of the road for these guys. They blocked you, Price. How will you ever recover? I'm going to miss the night out. We had a good run. So, yeah. Once a shill, always a shill. They probably ran into a strange conflict because on one hand, that Aditya Sud probably didn't like Kathleen Kennedy, but on the other hand, can't give an impression that he was talking to the likes of me. And again, this is allegedly. I'm not suggesting that a certain studio may or may not have had anything to do with me being shadow banned all the time, if you understand what I'm saying. Because this is pre-Elon, this whole situation.
Yeah.
Well, that was it. That was some lore.
That was a deep cut. That was some deep lore. Right.
That was a deep lore. You didn't think I was going to pull out like
it didn't involve hitting on women or offending any kind of female movie star or anything like that. So probably not going to go down as some of your most famous lore, but yeah, we got it nonetheless.
Yeah,
it is interesting
selfie,
lore though.
It is.
Your Pacino selfie is still probably up there pretty high.
The Pacino selfie. I never get credit for that, Sean.
I know.
I was the first person to
One day.
The first person to ever take a selfie with Pacino, and he couldn't even admit it. It wasn't Mario Lopez, it was me. Anyhow, so yeah, that was a deep cut. You guys probably were thinking, what does he want from us? But you made it through it anyways.
Is he done yet, Sean? Are we supposed to laugh yet?
No, I don't think this one was a funny one. This was me. I think this was me more annoyed. I don't think it was very funny, this one.
Yeah. Oh, that's the people. The shills on not only on YouTube, also out on X and in other platforms and stuff, that just they have these lines that they're given that they just have to spout every time they see something. And it's not like the studio necessarily told them to do it, although sometimes I think they do. It's that they are adherents to a particular ideology, and they're also connected to all these people in Hollywood, and they absolutely must defend all productions. They must defend every actor and every production and everything that has connected properly to the ideology and everything in Hollywood. They have to just keep promoting that stuff, and they can't let any arguments sway them in any fashion that it is not exactly what they are supposed to say.
There's also that mentality of like, they're like, hey, screw you, a lot of people worked really hard on it. It's like, well, that's unfortunate because they worked really hard on a piece of crap.
Exactly. Yeah.
Gaming Stuff says, I still want to know who the Prodigy guy Price talked to was. The truth is, I don't know if I know who I talked to, because, like I said, I was given the number of a woman who I thought was something of a road manager lady, but I then later on, and especially over the years, have a feeling that perhaps she was maybe in a relationship with one of them, and they were going to just show up at her house. And then, like, I called, and one of them picked up the phone. Which one told me what they told me? Very hard for me to say. I couldn't tell you. So all I know is what I was told is what I've quoted before, that he said that the moon was full of cheese. But that's, aside from that, I don't know much else.
That's profound.
It is unfortunate because not that they care, it must have not mattered to them, but I actually represented a buyer that wanted to pay them money if they had only listened to me. But they thought that, I mean, I hate to say this, I feel like maybe they were under the influence, perhaps, of something, and either they're just, even when they're not under the influence, they're just grumpy. They were grumpy and cynical people, or they were under the influence and thought that I was some weirdo that called them. But if they would have just let me speak a little more and send them some information, perhaps they would have seen that this was a serious inquiry. But we'll never know. We'll never know. All I'll have is that. And the funny part was I had to go back to like an actual, buyer and tell them, that that's what they said.
He said, I'm very sorry, but I am not going to be able to get the song Smack My Bitch Up for your peanut butter commercial. I'm real sorry.
I just said no, and the thing is, the person asked me. They said, "Well, what did they say?" And I said, and at the time, I wasn't even sure what it meant because, like, I was still shocked by it. And really, a few moments later, I called and said, "Listen, talk to somebody," and they said that the moon was full of cheese, and they're like, "Oh," and I'm like, "I wonder what they mean by that. What do they mean the moon is full of cheese?" So the person that was the buyer said, "It means they think you're full of shit." I said, "Oh, okay." And that was it. And I couldn't get him on the phone again. Couldn't get him on the phone. Nobody would ever answer me again. That was it. And maybe it's best I steered away from it, because a lot of times artists like that, if you even book them, you wonder if they're going to make their flight. You wonder if they're going to show up to do whatever event that they need to be at. So, yeah.
Oh, okay. I have to say, Dude Bro, Seth 420, you get me. That is exactly the joke I was going for.
What happened?
He said, "Smuck my bitch up" for Smuckers. Yes, there you go.
Oh, that would be good. Yeah. Let me see. Are there any super chats, Professor? I didn't even notice.
Let's see. I haven't noticed.
There's one from Dutch Gradient.
Yes, there's one earlier from Dutch Gradient. We missed that one. Yeah.
Okay, I am gonna pull that one up right now. And
although I guess Smuckers doesn't make peanut butter. I said peanut butter.
They make the jam, don't they?
But whatever, same difference.
Oh wait, Sean is here.
Ah, yes.
So I don't know exactly. How do we do the thing where there's a bunch of different windows? So it says, "Hail, gents, the race swapping, bad as it is secondary to how badly this show is going to completely bomb, and it was just to scream racism." Well, I mean, I think we talked about it. I think the name Harry Potter is so big, it's almost too big to fail.
Dude Bro Seth 420.
Now, I've released the video because I want to see if we see Sean multiple times.
Yeah, so you got to have the video playing in the background for it to do the infinity window thing. Yeah.
Okay. Is this going to do an infinity window? Because I only see 3 Seans now.
We get there. It has to loop. It has to.
We need more Seans.
Wait, what was it?
I don't know why this is my favorite thing on the Night Owl.
Price is easily amused. It's nice.
This is like the only thing that amuses me in the world.
Oh, there he goes. He's going for it.
It's strange, though. I feel like it used to do it in a different way. Now it's like... Are we getting enough Seans?
We need more Seans.
Never enough.
We need more Seans. Oh.
Okay, what happens if I do this? We have a lot of Seans here. This is this is like a Night Owl tradition at this point.
You correct me up.
Like we have to have more Sean.
You turn into that Kylo Ren meme.
Infinite Night Owls, yeah. So
that sounds like a 70s band. Infinite Night Owls.
How does it? I always wonder the logistics. How come it keeps opening more and more of them, Professor?
Oh, well, it's just so when you're playing the video, inside the video, so you're playing it in there. So what happens is that once you play the video inside of itself once, every time it catches up to having the video inside of the video, it makes another layer, another
It's all elephants all the way down.
Yeah, it's turtles all the way down.
Both of them.
This is the best. It doesn't get any better.
Yeah.
When it comes to late night entertainment, it doesn't get any better than this.
Not in this age.
Nope. This is what people tune in for when they think of the Night Owl. They just want to see multiple Seans making faces. By the way, what else do we have on our docket today?
Dude Bro says that Infinite Night Owls was a track by Hawkwind.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Interesting. What do we have? Like, what else did we say? Oh, there's an X-File reboot. Did you see that?
Oh, yes. We're doing the Ryan Coogler X-Files reboot. Yes.
Well, let me see if I can find the photo of, the casting X-Files, whatever it is. Now, I have to be fair here. Is this really a reboot, or it's just like a sequel series in a way?
I don't
I
have any idea.
can't tell. I can't tell what they're planning to do. Is it a sequel? Is it a reboot? Yeah.
Let me see for a second. We lost all of our Seans.
I was never a big fan of the X-Files to begin with, so I don't know.
I like it. I like the Monster of the Week episodes more than the lore stuff. And they really should have stopped at season 5 because they did the movie, and the movie feels like the logical end.
Mm-hmm.
But
I probably told you this before. Vince Gilligan, the guy that did Breaking Bad, he was involved in the production of the show and was a staff writer, and then kept on getting promoted. And in the final few seasons, maybe the final 3-4 seasons, whatever it is, final 3 seasons, he became the showrunner. And the creative vision was his, and all this stuff. And later in an interview, much later, he said something along the lines of that show and that experience taught him that a good show should probably end after 5 seasons. And he wasn't the guy that was the showrunner in the 5th season. The reason he said it is because he said that when it comes to his creativity and his ideas, he did some of the best work of his career in those later seasons of the show, but the goodwill from the audience and the viewership wasn't there anymore. And he said, like, you really understand what it means when you do that, what it means when a show has outstayed its welcome. And he kind of made a note to himself, and he said, I never want to be in that position again. I don't want to be the guy that's like show running a show that outstays its welcome. And that's probably why when he did Breaking Bad, they told him, are you sure you don't want to do like a 6th season? Don't you want to stretch this story more? We'll give you like $1 million every episode. They offered him like anything you can think of in the world. And he said, no, gotta wrap up this season and wrap up the show.
Well, when your main actor is like, I don't want to be here anymore, and he disappears for like several seasons to the point where you have to bring in the T-1000 to take over.
Right.
Like, it's just like it's getting long in the tooth.
Now, the thing is, and this is something that I was talking with like, Erwin and Badger earlier today, on the stream that they were doing. Basically, I don't have anything against Ryan Coogler. I think that out of the talent that exists in Hollywood these days, I think he's decent. I don't think he's bad. I'm not saying like he's the best thing that ever happened. He's certainly not the worst. I think he's fine. It's just that they were saying that it's very interesting how once there's a reboot, but now it's like all about the diversity angle of it and not, how do I say this? There's no more white people here. I personally think, it doesn't bother me that not everybody's white. I mean, they could have also maybe had one white person and one not one white person. It's fine, especially if they're not Mulder and Scully. If this is just a new team of people looking at stuff and doing their thing, I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with it. But, I guess these days, there's also a feeling of, in the original there were like 2 white people and now it's like no more white people, and you already start thinking if there's some underlying reason here, if all the conspiracy theories they discover is that like there's all these like white people who are not very nice or something, and then whatever. It's unfortunate that your mind even goes there, you know what I mean? Like you don't want to think that, but there's a part of you that thinks that maybe that's the direction they're going in. And at least that's how they felt. And I couldn't dismiss their feelings. Sure. I don't know what this is going to be. I thought that this is a reboot, but it still exists in the universe of Mulder and Scully. So potentially they could still show up. If you want to know what I think that this show, like Vince Gilligan said, it did outstay its welcome. I don't think that there needs to be more of it. If anything, I think there needs to be less of it. And the fact that until today, they kept trying to reboot it every time or restart it or do sequel series, and until today, they didn't give a proper ending to that whole story. They could have wrapped up the X-Files in 5 seasons. It would have been a fantastic show. Today is just a show that had some early seasons that were really groundbreaking when it comes to television and did some really great things. But overall, there's always a little asterisk next to the show because it shits the bed so badly. Sorry, Sean, like somewhere around the 3rd, 4th season, it just kind of falls off a cliff and in my opinion, never really recovers.
There's good episodes here and there.
Yes,
through, like every season, right. But with that whole lore thing, it felt like it kept changing. Like, oh, this is what's actually going on. Now this is what's actually going on. And then his sister, they're like, she turned into Starlight and disappeared. Spoilers. And I was like, what the hell is that? Like, that's how they wrapped up his sister.
It's very annoying. It was very annoying. I hated that each time they invented some other thing, the mother did have an affair with a cigarette smoking guy and all this other stuff. Man, they every 5 minutes, instead of answering a question, they came up with another question that wouldn't answer the question. You could do that a few times, but if you continuously do that for like 9 seasons, at the end you're like a mega J.J. Abrams. Unfortunately, that's basically, they were doing a J.J. Abrams before J.J. Abrams, just like jerking you around, like, yanking your chain. I didn't like that. So I think that originally the first few seasons I was super excited about it. I remember really liking this show, but they just lost me. And what you said, Sean, as well, it doesn't help if amidst all of the main star doesn't even feel like being there. He's like, I got better things to do. And then they're like, no, please, we'll pay you money so that you're here 7 episodes every season. It's like, and then when he shows up during those 7 episodes, they have to somehow explain why he was gone and why now he's showed up. And the excuses were really dumb too.
Yeah. Like I said, I really like the Monster of the Week episodes, and with these two, I don't know why you wouldn't just do a new, entirely different show, and do your own thing, because they're not remaking the show. You know they're not going to be able to resist tying it into the original show. It's like, just do a new show that's inspired by X-Files.
Yeah, just stop doing the same shows over and over again. It's like they already tried so many sequels with the original cast. They've tried movies. They did shows. Even as long as like 10 years ago, I don't know what, there was another revival. It's like, it's enough. I think nobody gives a shit anymore. Just let it go. I don't know that Ryan Coogler can do anything interesting with this. And honestly, like you said, make another show. Make a show that has nothing to do with this. Have 2 guys look into, like, some paranormal stuff and call it something else. It could be inspired. You know what I mean? Maybe it's inspired and has a bit of a twist and it's a bit something else. There's a million things you could do. Why does it have to be the X-Files?
And this already doesn't work. If you're going to make the actors black or whatever, they're usually the ones that are like, the stupid white people keep going to see what the noise is. It's a joke.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't understand it.
You know how you always see like things where black characters are like, oh no, you're those white people that are like, what's that noise? Let's go investigate. But
So
already I'm saying that she's not going to investigate anything because she'll be the smart one that doesn't want to go see what it is.
Or she already knows what it is before she has to investigate anything.
I think I understand what you're saying. Yeah, and in any case, listen, I hate that I'm in this position. I don't mind. I mean, honestly, if there was like one white guy and and a black woman, and they're like, "Oh, this is the new team," that or whatever, I don't think that would have been a big deal. It's just like they're always looking to do the thing. Like anybody that has to put like a new production and there's some white guy in it, it's like the worst thing that ever happened to them. I was telling earlier, I was telling those guys that episode of Daredevil, the first episode of season 2 of Born Again, that they made like Matt and Karen a couple.
Made them an item again. Yeah. Why? I don't know.
Did you watch it?
I did, yeah.
So basically, what I was saying is that I feel like when they did that scene that they have to kiss and they're together, people were probably suffering at Disney that they had to do that. They were probably like so mad and so suffering and so angry that there was like a white man and a white woman on screen, and they're not like they're into each other. They're not like LG characters. Probably there were like meltdowns. There were people on that crew that probably needed therapy.
Oh, they wanted Matt and Punisher. They wanted Matt and Frank to be sucking face. That's what they really wanted, right?
They shipped them probably, yeah.
Yeah, they wanted them together, or they wanted Matt and what's the name of his police friend, retired police friend? I don't remember. They wanted those two to be an item, I'm sure.
Probably. What did you think, by the way? Because I said at the time, I told you that it's not that I was overwhelmed by it, but at least I thought that they were trying to sweep some mess from the previous one. I felt, at least.
Yeah, it feels a little bit more cohesive than the previous season. Obviously, it is just the first episode, but I can kind of
still go off the rails completely.
Absolutely, it can go off the rails.
And even this wasn't a masterpiece. It was just like, it seemed like they weren't going out of their way to be obnoxious in this episode. I don't know if it's going to last.
Yeah.
And beyond that, it's not like I watched it and thought it was the best episode I've ever seen. I just thought it was like, all right, like I could watch it, I guess. But I wasn't super excited either.
Oh, yeah.
I just think it wasn't obnoxiously bad. That's the best
Yeah.
I could say.
I could have done without some of the very clear Trump allegory stuff that they stuck in there, the ICE allegory stuff that they stuck in there, with this, what is it, the anti-vigilante task force. Like, oh, well, they've cleaned up the city and everything's better and everything. And then you see, that they're being ultra violent and injuring people, locking people up that shouldn't be locked up. It's all extrajudicial stuff that's happening. All hilariously just happening when a mayor doesn't have powers to do any of the stuff that he's doing in this. That the governor is declaring martial law and whatever. Like none of that. You don't get to do that as a freaking mayor, not even a mayor of New York City. And holding all of these people, and the governor's not doing anything about it. And then you get this you get this spook CIA whatever that shows up. So now the feds are somehow, for some reason, they're helping out Kingpin because he's helping them smuggle weapons. And I believe there was a reference in there to what's her name from the what's her name?
Christy Nome?
No, Marvel character.
The Lady Hydra?
Valentina DeFontaine. There's a reference in there where someone's on the phone and says, yes, Miss DeFontaine, or something like that on the phone. So, the character that's played by, now I can't remember.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah, Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Wasn't she supposed to be Lady Hydra? That's what I told you.
Is she Lady Hydra? I don't know. I don't know if she's supposed to be Lady Hydra or not. She's DeFontaine. She's running. She's the one who put together the Thunderbolts, and
they do mention her name. Yes.
Yeah. She's on the phone or whatever. So she's working with Kingpin to smuggle weapons somewhere. I don't quite understand where they're trying to go with this, or how she would connect with someone like Kingpin. Obviously, I mean, she's not supposed to be a quote unquote good guy, right? Argentum says yes, she's supposed to be Lady Hydra. Okay, I hadn't picked up that that's who she was supposed to be. I just knew that she was there helping put together Thunderbolts and some of these other characters. To be honest, I'm not that into a lot of comic book lore for some of these characters to know where they came from. I knew she was involved in making the Sentry and so on. We saw that in Thunderbolts, but yeah, the whole thing with her, I honestly haven't liked that character at all. I don't know what did you see Thunderbolts, Sean?
Was it a TV show?
No. It was one of their big Marvel movie releases last year. It was the one right before Fantastic Four.
Oh,
Thunderbolts.
No.
No, I can't really blame you on that one.
I looked totally uninteresting to me.
Yeah, it was a big group therapy session.
Mm-hmm.
That's disguised as a superhero movie.
It's funny that you asked me, and I couldn't even remember.
Can you remember this is a movie that came out? Yeah.
Yeah, a year ago, maybe. No, it was the summer, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was last summer. Would have been last May, I think.
Oh yeah,
was when that came out. But
I miss the days when I was actually excited about superhero movies because they were so rare.
Well, and when we were getting them, pretty regularly during the peak Marvel in the first three phases of stuff that we were getting, the other day, I was reminded that someone was talking about reference a scene from Winter Soldier, and I was thinking about it, just going,
Mm.
damn, that was a good movie. Like, I want to go rewatch that right now. Like, just think of the scene, the elevator scene, right? Where they're all, they're packing in, and finally, he leans up and is just like,
Yeah.
you sure you want to do this? Like, or before we get started, does anyone want to get off? Like, it's an incredibly good scene, so well played, and such an incredible little action scene in this tight space. And then just the whole movie was a fantastic film. And we don't get Marvel and movies like that anymore. And I honestly I do think that having all of these different series has pretty heavily just watered down the universe. It's watered down what we're getting. So now the movies aren't even events anymore. It's just another one. There's another one coming out.
That's basically what they were doing with Star Wars. Like, who gives a crap about Mandalorian and Grogu?
Oh, exactly. Yeah, I mean, people have been saying, it's going to do big money because it's a Star Wars film. It's the first Star Wars film in years. I don't think people care.
Mm-mm.
I really don't. I certainly don't, and I don't know anyone that does. I mean, maybe my sister and will take her kids to see it because one of her kids kind of thinks Grogu's pretty cool. Maybe they'll go see it. But I think that's their best audience. The best chance at an audience is moms that like Grogu.
Yeah,
taking their kids, or the middle-aged ladies with the Grogu tattoos on their thigh or whatever, right? The ones that still call him Baby Yoda. Those those people.
I hope he turns into green goo by the end of the movie.
No, but the next movie they're going to recast him. He's going to be a different color.
And he'll be like 7 feet tall.
He's going to have dreads.
It'll be a jump like Anakin from Phantom Menace to Attack of the Clones.
I don't know if you saw this, but today online, J.K. Rowling, it was on her Twitter. She was like, she's so happy with how the Harry Potter teaser came out. It's funny that like even Deadline said divided. Where's that guy that was acting weird before?
Oh, he started being a real ass, and he was being a troll. So
no, that's fine. I don't mind that, but I'm just saying, like, he was like, "How dare you say the trailer is divisive?" Listen,
yeah, exactly. And here's Deadline. Shill publication saying divisive. Yeah,
right.
Fans are divided.
If Deadline is saying that the trailer is divisive, my title was like the most vanilla of vanilla titles.
Yep.
I will say that I put mine before they did theirs, meaning mine was several hours before they wrote it was divisive. But you know what? It doesn't matter. The bottom line is the bottom line. It's not anything controversial to say that thing was divisive. You know what? I am curious why they claim it's divisive. Because, sometimes they like to beat around the bush.
Yep. And I would take this opportunity to remind everybody that, yes, J.K. Rowling has been canceled by a lot of people for her views on having men in women's bathroom and the trans issue and so on has been canceled by a lot of people on the left. But that doesn't mean she isn't still a very deeply leftist person in her views and her various other politics. I'm sure if people have said, maybe she didn't have anything to do with this casting. I don't think she cared. And I think she was probably just fine with it. Remember, very deeply leftist in most of her politics. But
it's like whenever, sorry.
Yeah. No. I'm just saying, except for the trans issue.
You know what? I will say something though. Deadline has done something that I'm usually like not used to seeing. Although they did put their usual spin on it. But let's see what it says. They're saying at least part of the world would disagree with some slamming the lack of color and stylization in comparison to the Potter movies, which were released from 2001 to 2011. And she wrote, "It's going to be incredible. I'm so happy with it." And then I guess they quoted some people online. Despite it being a fantasy series, sourced from PG children novels, nothing about this trailer, color grading, no actual magic shown, lack of whimsy set design is indicative of something that's marketed to children, one person wrote on X. On the other hand, it's perfect for infantilized adults.
Who wrote that? Because that is perfect. It doesn't quote who actually wrote that.
Well, it's this guy. I don't know who this guy is. I've never seen him before.
But that is perfect.
It's
yes.
this guy. It's Tyler Woodward.
Despite it being a fantasy series sourced from PG children's novels, nothing about this trailer, the color grading, no actual magic shown, lack of whimsy, set design, etc., is indicative of something marketed to children. On the other hand, it is perfect for infantilized adults. Okay, I'm going to find this guy. He's getting a follow because, damn it, that is on point. And if you go back to that article, it talks about the casting of Snape.
Okay, so let's see.
Yeah.
I'm surprised because, like, they had to add the obligatory that now he has threats and blah, 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 because they have to quickly explain why it's terrible that one would even think that they should have not cast him. Several have complained about the race swapping. The fact that they even wrote race swapping is something that I don't know that they used to write in their publications, of Severus Snape with actor Papa Isiedu, who recently revealed he's gotten racially motivated over his casting. And of course, they always add that the person is getting threats. They can't just say that some people don't like the casting. They have to add this other angle, so that this is very bad. Then they quote him, "The new Harry Potter show is truly amazing to me," someone wrote. "Leftists won't like because of J.K. Rowling. Right-wingers won't like it because J.K. Rowling retconned a bunch of characters to try and be woke. And the kids of today won't like it because it's literally fucking millennial slop." As noted, I wonder who said that. I don't even know who this is. It's funny how, you'll never see them quote, like, an erotic or anything.
Yeah.
As noted, on the other end of the woke spectrum, Rowling's anti-trans views continues to plague the series. You cannot separate the art from the artist. With Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling has directly funded harmful legislation to the trans community and directly caused harm to trans people. She uses the money she makes from Harry Potter for that.
Mm-hmm.
So
she's also not going to say, "Oh, that trailer looked like ass."
She's making money. She's printing
exactly.
money with this franchise. Anything that she does, even if they wouldn't consult with her and they just do whatever they want, she's still going to say it's great. It's all paying her bills. She's not going to go out and say, "I hate this."
Exactly.
I agree with you 100%, Sean. So let's see if there's any other thing. I don't know. Let's see.
Well, just that they mentioned that he's gotten death threats and all this stuff over whatever. I don't buy it. Once again, this is the fourth time that we've heard this. There, Moses Ingram got death threats, and this other actress, she got death threats and whatever, because she's black, whatever. Never, not once, have they ever brought the receipts. They could snapshot one of these threats and post it up there. If they think it's doxing somebody, they could black out their names or whatever. It doesn't matter. They could post just one of these things to say, "See, I'm getting death threats." Never happens. Not once. They don't even bother to fake it. They don't even bother to pull a Jesse Smollett and fake it. They just say, "I got death threats." And see, you're all racist monsters.
Listen, the thing is that you have two choices. If you have people that did that, you can report them And as far as
Yes.
I'm concerned, if somebody took these actors and sent them a threat like that, obviously report them, and whatever needs to be done, do it. You know what I'm saying?
Report him and put him on blast. Do it.
Whatever you need to do. I am 100% against people sending the actors they don't like threats like this.
Yeah,
The
it's
fact that
stupid.
we talk about that we didn't think they should be cast in a role is not the same thing as somebody going and threatening them. If somebody does that, they're doing something that's illegal and should be, dealt with. You don't send people threats because you don't like their acting in a movie. I mean, you could make a joke and say online that you didn't like their acting or something like that, but you don't send them threats. So if somebody sends these people threats, they don't need to, sugarcoat it. Take the people, give it to the proper, places that you need to give it to. So maybe these platforms can find out who it is that's sending these threats. Maybe if these are people that are, let's say, located in the US, if somebody could find them, then do whatever you need to. Obviously, nobody should be threatened. Like I am 100% on this. I am in agreement with these people. But what the problem is that this happened with Moses and with this guy and with all the other cases. They say that this is happening, but then they don't want to do anything. They don't want to show anything. They don't want to go even to the authorities. Forget about sharing with me. Go to the authorities and show them. Why is nobody taking any action? I mean, if this was happening, wouldn't somebody bother to take any kind of action? If this was something to be taken seriously, wouldn't somebody do something?
You would think.
Do you get what I'm saying? You can't have it both ways. Either it's important and we're worried. Go and do whatever you have to do. We're 100% against it. Somebody threaten you, we are 100% against it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and yeah,
it should not happen. Nobody, because they took a role in a film, should be being threatened by anyone. What I'm saying is, never happened. Not one actor has ever brought the receipts to show that these threats really took place, that they were actually getting these. They used them as a way to try and garner sympathy, to try and get attention, to try and show, oh, see, this fandom is so hateful and blah, 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 and see, oh, poor me, whatever. If these really happened, show us the receipts. Show us that these threats are really out there. Show us that who's been doing these things. And absolutely, yeah, report them, but put them on blast too. Look, yeah, here's these jackasses who are making threats against me and whatever. It's gotten so ridiculous because it's every time now. Oh, there's a production. It's got a black actor in it. Oh, see, the fandom hates me. They're sending me death threats.
And Ewan McGregor, I will say this. I will never forget that he sat and he did that stupid car video. That was so embarrassing.
It was awful.
It was so awful. And it was the most acting that he did, even more than on the show itself. If only on the show he had so much passion for his acting, that the way he did when he's driving the car and weeping over the Moses Ingram thing. It was so pathetic.
You're no Star Wars fan in my mind, or you whatever. Shut up. Go away.
You're not a fan either. You just collected a check to be in that shitty
exactly.
show. You knew that Obi-Wan thing was shitty. And you know why you took it? Nobody wants to admit this. Not only did they give him a role and that they paid him a lot of money, they somehow, mysteriously, also took his wife to play on the Ahsoka show.
Yeah.
Like Syndulla is his wife.
Yeah, it's
you
his
know
wife.
what I mean?
I mean, she's got cake. It was fine. But yeah, it's just like, why did she get this role? Well, we all know why.
It must have been like a double deal. He'd say, listen, he was in such a position that they're desperate to have them there and also to shove their own characters and make the legacy characters look bad. And I think that he said, you know what? You want me to do this thing? Okay, I'll do your thing. A, I want money. B, this is my wife. Wouldn't she be great on one of your shows? And they said, yes, she would be great. And honestly, she wasn't great. Nothing personal. I don't know if she's a good actress or not. I don't think she was good in that role. I completely didn't buy her as like Hera Syndulla. Like the in the animated one, whoever did the voice of that character and the way she was drawn gave like a much more kind of warm vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She was like nicer and more pleasant. The way they made her on this show is kind of annoying. And I hate to say it, but I feel like Ewan's wife had something to do with it.
Yeah, she felt well, yeah,
I
the
don't know what
character
she looks like
felt different in the
it wasn't the same
in
vibe.
the original. Yeah, she was voiced by the actress of Vanessa Marshall. But yeah, she was different in the felt different. Felt a little bit more I don't know, like nurturing, like you said, warmer, in that show, I think, than she did with the live action version.
You know what's so strange? There's this show called Tracker, and it's the only time I've ever seen this, but it's a show that started, for lack of a better word, had some kind of woke elements in it, and they gradually removed the woke elements. Now, I just want to say that the funny thing is, this is a show that didn't have any backlash to it. I don't think anybody cared. It's not that kind of show. It's not like a Starfleet Academy that it's some IP or whatever. Nobody cared. I don't think anybody cared that it was quote unquote woke, and I don't know how it became like less woke. Now, I'll try to explain what I mean. I wonder if this has something to do with David Ellison. You know why? Are you with me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find this. I have to show this because, like, I feel like it's some weird conspiracy, but only I can see it. Season 1 cast. Let's see if I can find cast. If I can find season 1 cast. Let me see if I can. Wait a second. Give me a second. I'm going to find this. I know you think I'm crazy, but the show has gone through like an unwokening process. Okay, so let's see. Maybe this is it here. Okay, let me see. How do I do this? I need the cast of the first season. Okay, I think this is it. Are you with me?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to try to share this screen. Maybe this is it. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So basically, in season 1, this guy is like a guy that's he's going around, he's trying to find people that were kidnapped. Something like not a bounty hunter, but like he gets a reward if he finds like people that disappeared. And he's likable enough. I don't know, he was on Lost. I don't know what shows he was on. I don't even remember. But this actor, like, I think he's serviceable enough for like a cop type. It's not a cop, but he's like trying to find missing people. I have some people that I know that watch this, so a few times that I happen to catch it. It's just kind of very run of the mill. So
yeah. Things in this cast here start off okay over on the left, but as you move further to the right, things really start falling apart.
Okay. So let me tell you something. This person here, this Robin Weingart, let me see if I can. Robin Weingart and Abby McInerney. Okay, they're a LG couple in season 1. Okay, and they're helping him run his business. Like they're there and like giving him information and all this stuff. And the guy called Eric Grays. First of all, I want to make it clear. This is not my doing. I have got no real skin in the game. I'm just telling you what I've observed. This Eric Grays guy is a guy that in real life is in a wheelchair. And, or he's sort of he has like a prosthetic, like titanium leg, kind of like Lieutenant Dan. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Gotcha.
Like his legs are like of titanium. I don't know. What am I trying to explain? I don't know though.
Yeah. He has prosthetic limbs. His prosthetic legs.
But both his legs, okay?
Yeah.
So he's like
Double
kind of a
amputee.
tech guy. Like he sits there next to a computer, gives him stuff. Most of the time he's sitting down. Sometimes you see him walking with his whatever it is. And the other two ladies are a couple, and they're helping him out. Now the one that says Fiona Renee, she's sort of a lawyer, but there's sort of a little bit of like a thing, sort of not really. They're sort of will they, won't they, or whatever it is. And he's basically, most of the show is actually him going around and trying to find missing people. All the other people, he usually talks to them on the phone and they try to give him information. kind of he acts sort of like a bounty hunter of sorts, but bounty hunter for missing people, if you know what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
So for whatever the show is, it's serviceable enough. It's nothing groundbreaking. It's just like, the most vanilla of shows. But if you want something non-offensive, like those kind of NCIS or whatever, it just does whatever it does. This is season 1. Now let me show you what happened in season 2. Okay, are you ready?
Got it.
Let's see. Okay, so do you see this here right now?
Yes.
They removed one of the ladies from the couple. They kept this one, the one that's sort of neutral, if you know what I'm saying. They kept her.
Mm-hmm.
And they removed the other ladies. So now they're no longer in a couple. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The LG couple is removed, but they've kept the lady that's sort of what word am I looking for?
Androgynous.
Yeah.
That's correct. They kept
Yeah.
the more androgynous looking lady, but the other lady who was her love interest or whatever it is, she's gone. Okay, and they explain, like their relationship didn't go well, so they had to break up or whatever. They throw away a sentence to explain it, and she's gone. So now you have these 4 left, and then season 3. Are you ready for season 3?
Mm-hmm.
Season 3, they I don't know if I can find it, but basically they remove this lady, the androgynous one. She's out. Okay?
I see.
And the guy with the titanium, he's out too. Are you with me?
Interesting.
So now the only people that are now on the show, they replace the guy with the titanium with another guy. And now the only people on this show, I'm trying to find them. I can't even find a picture, but basically the guy, the love interest to the guy, that's next to him. And then there's a replacement guy that he basically replaced the guy with the wheelchair, but he's not in a wheelchair. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
I guess what I mean is that all things considered, they started off with stuff that was very much more woke, and with every season they removed it, and now they have something that looks not so woke. Now
Doesn't
the
usually
question
go
is,
that direction. Now does it?
now do you I wonder to myself why they would do it. The show was doing well. The show was doing fine. So I wonder why would they go ahead and do that? And I have to wonder if David Ellison had something to do with it.
It's entirely possible. I mean,
you think that he looked at it and said, "Hey, can we maybe do less of this?" Or do you think that I'm crazy for thinking that?
It's possible. People keep saying that they're more, I don't know, conservative types. So.
I have to wonder. It's just because I've never seen another show that does that. And not only that, there's been no backlash. Maybe because it's not an IP and it's those activists don't have any interest in it. But you'd think that there would be people whining. Nothing. I don't hear a word about it. They removed an LG couple completely, just made them disappear. There was a guy in a wheelchair they removed that guy. I don't know. It's like somebody came and said, I don't want this here. And I'm not saying that I said it. I'm saying that it feels like somebody said it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
Made titanium and it's expensive. They didn't want to upset Professor X by the in the
Professor X would be offended enough by the dude's
somebody says price might be reaching on this one. Listen, I know how weird this sounds, but all I know is how many shows, and I know, Sean, you have to go to sleep, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sean, it's been a pleasure having you here. I just want to send people the link to your thing. Crumbs Comics. I'm going to find the link to your comic.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your train of thought.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I know that it sounds like I'm reaching. I understand that. But the thing is that to date, I have seen one show that did what this one did. And this is it. I've never seen another show that from season to season they keep removing their like the ones that seem more, for lack of a better word, wokish.
Is it possible they don't have as much money to spend per season now?
I mean, the show is considered the number one show on television on like network TV, so
Okay.
it doesn't seem like they have a problem with money with that show. Now, I'm sure that there's a lot of ones that they have a problem with. It just doesn't seem like that would be the one they'd have a problem with.
I got you. I gotta go to bed.
Anyhow, good night, Sean. It was a pleasure hanging out with you. Thanks for being here. People
Always
can
good to
tell
see
me
you,
in the
Sean.
chat if you think that I am if I'm like dreaming it. But Professor, have you ever seen a case of what I'm telling you? LG couples split up, then the one of the person stays, then they remove the other person. The guy who was like diverse in a wheelchair removed.
Yeah, it seems bizarre. It seems like they would be preferring to you remove the white male characters from the show.
Right.
more
No, the
quickly
white
than-
male's getting more screen time. He's thriving, and like even that other lady, like the one that like doesn't look half bad, she kind of likes him. You know, it all is playing out in a way that kind of surprises me. And the only thing I'll say is instead of the diverse guy in the wheelchair, they brought a different diverse guy, but the diverse guy that they brought that does some like, you know, IT work or whatever it is that he does, he is not in a wheelchair. So it's so weird because I don't care that a guy is in a wheelchair. You know, it's so strange to me. And you'd think that somebody would have like an outcry. It's a very popular show. You'd think somebody would say, "Hey, how could you do that thing?" And nobody said a word, Professor. And none of those publications said a word. And when none of those publications said a word, I have a feeling that maybe there's something going on. Do you get what I mean?
Maybe, yeah, no, it does seem odd. It does seem sort of against the trends that we've seen elsewhere. I mean, imagine making a show that like appeals to your audience. You know, since it's mostly older people who are actually watching things on network television still.
I feel like that tracker show is a show that a lot of older people watch.
Yeah.
And maybe they just said, you know what, older people don't care if he talks to like, you know, LG people on the phone. They don't need all this kind of like, you know, whatever. They're just like, let's just show him more. Let's remove these other people. You know, let's just, you know, let's keep it, you know, simple. That's the only thing I can come up with. I don't have another explanation, Professor.
Oh. Istophobos says he knows why.
Okay, what's the reason, Istophobos?
What's the reason, Lay it on us, buddy.
I'm right here, Istophobos. Tell me what the reason is. Fishbulb6 says maybe those actors are moving to the X-Files reboot.
Yeah, it could be. Caleb Levine says my grandma likes that tracker show. So
You know,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I will bet you my mother watches Tracker. I'm sure she does. And so it's like that generation of people that's watching. Like that's probably, you know, they're saying, I don't really like that lesbian couple on there.
That's probably what happened. You know what? I have a situation like what you guys said. There are people in my family that watch the show. That's why on different occasions, whether it's holidays or whatever it is, I found myself seeing some episodes of the show. I will say this. It's not like, you know, for a run-of-the-mill network type of show, it's not offensively bad. It's just like a guy is usually he has a gun, he's walking around, and like it's also it's not the most logical show. You could like pick apart the logic behind what goes on there in every episode. It's like you have to suspend a lot of disbelief, especially when like he has a hacker working for him that can solve everything in 2 seconds. You've never seen anybody hack things so quickly as this guy hacks. I understand why, because on these shows, they don't have time to show you how the guy hacked it. You just need the scene to go from A to B. You need him to know who the suspect is. So for that, he's just like, can you hack that guy's phone? He's like, I'm right on it now. He's like, can you send me the address? I already sent it to you. Like, that's it. That's the scene is over.
All right, so Istophobos gave you his answer.
Istophobos says Justin Hartley wanted to be the main focus of the show. He gained leverage as the show became more popular, and he threatened them to make him more of a lone wolf. The writers originally, when he signed up, that was the show, and he ended up with enough juice to make it happen. You know what? That's all possible. But I will say that in spite of all of this, the fact that there was nobody crying, they didn't go to the press, there's nobody whining, nobody said a word anywhere that like an LG couple was removed from a show, unheard of. I feel like 5 years ago this would not have gone quietly, and I also think that the fact that like David Ellison took over Paramount, maybe that was the time that Justin Hartley could get what he wanted. Do you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like perhaps under different management, they would have told Justin Hartley, "You can't do it. You got to have these ladies telling you what to do." And now they're just like, "Fuck it. You know what? We'll fire them. You're Justin Hartley. You can walk around with your gun, and no ladies are going to tell you what to do." It's possible. Hackers starring Jolie.
Oh,
I think she looked nice in that movie, right?
I mean, she did, but yeah, the whole like, oh, look at the hot, sexy hackers. Like, no, no. They did the same thing. What was it? The Marvel show,
the
Agents of Shield, where they have like this hot, female hacker. Like, what?
So the other thing is that anytime like Justin Hartley walks next to like he's just walking on the street and there's a camera there, like how after a crime you want to look at the different cameras in the neighborhood because maybe one of them caught a certain angle you didn't see. So he usually takes his phone, calls like his IT guy, and he says, "Hey, I'm on this street now. Can you hack into this camera and show me the footage?" And the guy's like, "Give me 1 second." 2 seconds later on his phone, he already has the video. It's like he has not only the video, the exact thing that happened at the exact time, like so quickly. It doesn't even make any sense. But like I said, it's the type of show that you have to go with it, or else like you can't stop and think of such things. It's not going to have him hack for an hour. It's just like you have to understand, like in your mind, you're thinking this guy he's going to immediately just give him the information. So that's what it is. Anyhow, that was a strange thing. The only person I know that actually has watched this show, except for me, is my friend Nick. I think in Nick's case, I think his wife likes watching that show.
See, the thing is that women don't have to be hackers. All they have to do is walk into the room with the computer nerds and show them their boobs, and they're going to get whatever passwords or whatever they need. So, yeah, I don't know.
Let me see if I can. Did we have any super chats? I didn't even look.
I don't think I've seen any other super chats. We got one more thing. See, oh, we did have one more. Yeah, we got one more from DC Skater.
Okay.
It was back when we were doing when we were still talking Harry Potter stuff. So.
Okay, I'm going to share it right now. Let me find it. Okay. Hey, what's up?
Hey.
That's the same guy who played Green Arrow on Smallville and Aquaman and the worst failed TV series ever. That's Justin Hartley, I think.
Yep.
He's serviceable enough for that tracker show. Again, it's something like you said. I think that it's more for older audiences or just very middle of the road type of entertainment. It's something that you don't think about. It doesn't have a lot of logic. It's on the level of like an NCIS. Although I will say that I don't mind like the lone guy walking around with a gun trying to solve a crime. I don't mind that. Escapism, it has a little bit of it. And if you don't think about it too much, it's mildly enjoyable. I mean, very, very mildly. Mildly when you understand, it's like you sitting in a diner, you know what I mean? Eating a grilled cheese sandwich. That's the equivalent of tracker. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
I got you. White bread.
It is completely. It's a grilled cheese sandwich at a diner, but sometimes, like, it's comforting to eat a grilled cheese sandwich. It's dumb. It's like suspension of disbelief. Like you have to dial that up to a 10. But I'd say that even with all the dumbness of like the writing and the things that are so convenient, there's a little bit of charm, a little bit like a hint of charm, almost like a throwback to these kind of older shows where there's just some guys solving a crime. Do you get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only thing that I can say about it. See, I'm not always an asshole. Like sometimes I say something positive. Wait a second. What was I was gonna show you? Oh, the thing. We had the super chat.
Super chat.
I suck. Okay.
Yeah, you're fine.
So we had Hope from DC Skater 529. Thank you for the $5 super chat. We have hopefully Peeves is included. They add his theme from the video game series. I used to play the OG Harry Potter games growing up. Peeves was funny.
Yeah. So Peeves, the character, is basically ignored in the films. He is a poltergeist who is frequently is seen wandering the halls and making trouble for Harry and his friends, among others. he's a real pain in the ass, and there's numerous times when they're sneaking through the halls and stuff like that where they've got to they got to dodge Peeves because he's floating around looking for people who are who are not following the rules and whatever, so he can get them in trouble and stuff. So yeah, I mean, I think that could be an interesting character that they could bring in. Obviously, they got some more time. There's some other things too. There's one of the professors that you do not see in the films is the teacher that teaches history. He's dead. He's a ghost, like some of the other ghosts that you see. Apparently, He was a professor who was teaching at Hogwarts, died at his desk, and just woke up the next day as a ghost and went back to teaching. So he's just, and people say he was, he was no more lively before he died than afterwards.
Didn't know any of that.
Yeah, so there's it's someone said there's a brief shot of him in the trailer. I didn't see it, but I think that's funny. That they might have the opportunity to include that character because he's he's in there. So yeah, I mean Peeves would be a good addition. They would be able to sneak in there. Now that there's more time for it. Just wasn't really time for it in the in the books, or not in the books, in the movies, and then other characters, some of the other professors and so on, some of the other side characters would be interesting to
People probably don't understand what I meant with Tracker. They think I'm crazy with like the unwokening of Tracker. I know how weird it sounded, but I don't have any other way to explain it.
The unwoken.
So,
what else do we have on our docket for tonight? I think we had one more thing, man.
Did we have something? I don't even know.
Syndey Sweeney?
Ah, yes, Syndey Sweeney. You are correct, Professor. This was a thing.
Syndey Sweeney is a thing.
Yes, first of all,
she's a lovely thing.
First of all, I think that on Instagram she's been doing a lot of interesting things recently.
Showing off her new lingerie line?
Yes, and she keeps showing more of it. Like she really wants you to know that she has a lingerie line.
Mm-hmm.
And
most people are happy to know that she has a lingerie.
So let me see for a second. Syndey Sweeney. Okay. So let's look at her lingerie line because I want to see what she's doing these days.
Staying
these
healthy.
are new
Yeah.
photos she's posted. Are you looking at
Mhm.
these?
Yes.
So I guess this is part of her new lingerie line. She wants you to know that she has a here.
I'm looking at them, not leering at them. Just to be clear.
It says a little bit more of our seductress. CERN is available now. I guess CERN is the thing.
Siren is how it's
Siren.
pronounced. Yeah.
Oh, good one, Professor.
Don't ask me how I know that.
That's you're really on top of your game, Professor. So
Angelo DD on the Rumble chat says she looks like a hacker to me.
I mean, at least, she's very committed to this whole lingerie company thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I personally don't have an issue with it. I don't know
There's
if
a
other
prize at the bottom of that popcorn bucket.
Yes, I assume that there is, Professor. So this is her doing this thing, but that's not the reason why she's attacked. What happened is that basically she has a brother that is in the army.
Mm-hmm.
And it said that he was being deployed. It doesn't say where he's being deployed, but her brother is in the army. Is in the U.S. military. Let me see for a second if I can find it. So let me see if I can find this thing. Ugh, there's so many pop-ups. These weird things, but let me try to do it. So Sydney Sweeney posted something like, on Instagram. I think it's something that already disappeared. That it said like, receiving calls from my bro always makes me happy when he's deployed. Thinking of all our boys and girls overseas. Sending my love. Thank you for your service. And I'm going to be careful here because some of those things that I saw online were terrible. Like on Twitter, you have some people that are like, "Oh, it's so great! Like it's a good whatever." American family, patriotic, blah blah blah. I see that, and then on the other hand, I've seen things that like people are just writing the meanest things, like really personal and mean things. And I thought to myself, it's so strange that we live in a time that if you say that your brother is like in the army, you're getting basically insulted online by like a lot of these kind of weirdos that they think that him being in the army is bad and they hate their country and they hate their own troops, so they must hate this lady. And they're like, of course he's in the army. She was always like a mustache man woman. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I saw stuff
well,
like,
you remember that anyone on the left, they love the troops if there's a Democrat in the White House. If there's a Republican in the White House, then the troops are just foot soldiers. They're goose stepping foot soldiers who are following
bootlickers or whatever it is.
Yeah, following the commands of some sort of authoritarian monster. And so yeah, if he's in the military being deployed, no matter what reason there would be for him to be deployed, frankly, I have a student in my class who was deployed recently. He's just Army National Guard. I don't know where he went. I don't know what he's doing on his deployment. But he was deployed, and he sent me the letter, everything from his commanding officer, and it's just part of normal stuff. It's just what happens. There's nothing that says oh, he's out there doing Trump's will and fighting Iran or anything. This deployment could be any number of things, right? I've got a neighbor who was recently deployed. He was deployed to Germany. You know what I mean? Like, it's just regular, like, troop movements. And, some people, spend a little time overseas and then they come back and whatever. A lot of times, training stuff or whatever, or they're relieving other people so they can come back, from being overseas or whatever. So it's so stupid for these people to try and attack her for her brother, who is in the U.S. Air Force, by the way, Staff Sergeant. And, it's ridiculous for them to be trying to attack her in some way just because she wished the troops and that include her younger brother.
The bigger problem for me is that I think that there used to be something that everybody understood. Doesn't matter what party you voted for, it doesn't matter any of that. It's the troops. You gotta be nice to the troops. You know what I mean? That was like the consensus that people understood.
Yeah.
Everybody understood this. And somehow now it's like, oh, like my brother is this. Oh, you bitch. Like you're a mustache man woman. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? The fact that there's people in America that think that really bothers me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's gross, frankly. They whether they're serving under one president or another, whatever. You always have to remember this is a volunteer military that we have. Every one of these people who is there, they're volunteering to serve, and some people, frankly, shit-eating assholes. Out there trying to say, oh, well, this is the only chance that, a bunch of uneducated, poor, bastards have to get out there and do something is just to go in the military, right? The only idiots join the military. There's plenty of jackasses out there that say that kind of stuff. They can all go eat shit, frankly. I know a lot of very brave, very capable, very smart people who have chosen to serve in the military in various different branches, both friends and family, and people who I've met in life through teaching them or having taken classes with them. Been in various different groups and stuff with them. So it's just ridiculous. That people would ever want to mistreat anyone who is volunteering to serve our country, when you also get some of these people just trying to badmouth people who are in the military because you're in the military for this reason or that. You don't know why these people have joined the military. You know what? Maybe for them it was the right choice at the right time. I know somebody who their life was frankly a mess. They were not good at sort of doing life on their own, figuring out who they wanted to be, and they had an opportunity to join the military, and it was something that changed their life. They learned how to be more regimented about how they lived their life, and they learned to serve something greater than themselves in the military, and they learned how lots of skills and stuff in working as a mechanic in the military, and it was a life-changing thing for them, and it was the right direction for that person at that time. So it's so irritating when people start trying to judge people who are in the military, to say that they're doing it because they're serving this political agenda or that or whatever. It's gross. You know what? You served in the military. Ista says joined up at 30. Thank you for your service, sir. Appreciate it very much so. And I would say that to any veteran who's served, especially those who have ever served overseas. And as I've said, I've known a number of people who've served, and every one of them deserves our respect, and frankly, they deserve to be taken care of. And the way that our VA has been, so in just ridiculously underfunded and poorly cared for, and the state that it's been in for as long as it has is frankly embarrassing, and it's been left that way by Democrats and Republicans alike.
Istophobos says, I learned that 1, I hate the fucking desert, and 2, getting shot at sucks balls. I kind of suspected that one.
Yeah. It's
being in a military setting is tough.
Yes, it is. Yeah. There's some people to take to it like a fish to water, but when you are in some kind of combat situation, it's never going to be pleasant. If you are somebody who is excited and loving being in a combat situation, I question your sanity. But at the same time, appreciate that there are people who are out there willing to put themselves in that place and in that position.
Absolutely. I have a great appreciation for anybody that does that. I can really appreciate what it means to be in a setting like that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
In any case, on that wonderful positive note where we're saying
Supporting our troops, buddy.
supporting the troops, I think that at this point we could probably start wrapping things up.
Yeah, I think we're ready to pack it in for tonight. It's been wonderful hanging out with you tonight, Price. It was great that we got joined by our buddy Sean. It was nice to see him.
I like that, guests come and go, but like on this show when there's guests, it's special. I'd like to think that. And there's only like a very specific. We're not just like there's only a specific crew of people that shows up as guests here and there, and I like that. So on Rumble we had Kivo 1961, Phantom Monk, Angelo DD, Dude Rosef 420, Gaming Stuff, Deeple 101, Humesgraph, Tiglith Pilizer, Elizabeth Quince, who's a friend of the channel, Moderick, The Real Arthur Blake, That 90s Boomer 1333, Sal the Hamster, Double R Star, Tim Hayes.
Yes. And once again, we had quite a few people in the chat with us tonight. So I just have the top 50. So that's wonderful. Glad to see so many people joining us this evening and being engaged in the chat. I've got Piotr Dudek, Inku, Satiner Haliza, 15P, Smoky Blizzard, Jonathan Conroy, Poo Chang, Justin Channels, Marla Sharondoff, Star Wars Complained, Granola Grin, Anthony Parkinson, The Padawannabe, The Real Sean Crummel, Zunar J5, Captain Zoom, Mooly Porchers, Ron Donafaro, who joined Price on his second half of his review earlier this evening of the Enterprise premiere. So
that is true. Cool. Ron stepped up.
Yeah. Sorry, were you finished?
Oh, I just wanted to say that if you're watching this stream and you don't know where it came from, whether you rated or you saw a link on one of my other social medias, make sure you're subscribed to this channel if you're on YouTube. And if you're on Rumble and you're watching through the app but you haven't opened a Rumble account, it's free. And you can also follow us, and then you'll know when we do streams. So please do any of that. That always supports us. We don't ask for much, but if you enjoy what we do, we'd love to hang out with you more. So just wanted to say that.
All right, so let's see, where were we? Ron Donafaro, Smilex, Canadian Spider-Man, Adrian Veit, Poker Ace, Darren M, Lord Corey, some troll, Kevin Davis, Tim Hayes, Reverend Norman Bates, Lasher, E. Clay Thomason, Samsung, Scottish Celts 2040, Badfoot, Angry Sparrow, Keely Chow, Rogue's Backstory, Strugun, Hoot Owl, Seabrew, 1138, Big Sur River, The Real Headcase, DJ Skylo, John Davidson, Tomahawk 511, Istophobos, Caleb Levine, Fishbulb 6, Koto Rob, DC Skater, and Dutch Gradient. And thank you to DC Skater 529 and Dutch Gradient for their super chats this evening.
All right. Well, I think that we've done our part here, Professor.
All righty.
So, with that all out of the way, I want to thank everybody for being here. DJ Skylo says, I know Price from Mr. Brown Alliance. Professor is on that show as well, so
Yeah.
know him as well from there. And yeah, it's been great. Every Tuesday and Thursday, 11:45 p.m. Eastern, the Night Owl. I guess, Professor, is there anything you want to plug or talk about before we go?
Oh, plug or talk about before we go. Let's see. Well, I will be joining the crew as usual on B-sides tomorrow night. Got a fun little sci-fi movie that we'll be watching. So Mutiny in Space, I believe, is the name of the film for tomorrow night. So B-roll stage on YouTube and over on Rumble. Although they're pushing everyone over to Rumble because they've actually been monetized over there, unlike YouTube, who's keeps pushing them off and not monetizing them for the past like 5 years. So
Well, good for them.
yep. But yeah, tomorrow night we'll be setting up and watching some films at the usual time over on B-roll.
Sounds awesome, man.
All right, man. Well, I think that's it. Take care,
Okay.
everybody.
Bye.